That snow generally under an inch.
Light snow right now, winds picking up as well, 16 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Because curious beats clueless every time. News Talk 830 WCCO. You're thinking about it. Jason's talking about it. There are no breaks on bold takes here. Buckle up. This is Drive Time with DeRUSH. Now, live from Minnesota's biggest microphone, here's Jason DeRUSH.
I need to know where you're at. One word, what is the mood of you? It's a question I keep getting asked in interview after all that has gone on in Minnesota over the last, well, I'd say over the last 8 or 9 days, but the real question is after the last 4 or 5 years. It's Jason. Welcome to Drive Time. We are on location. We are in Eagan today at the Vikings Lakes Ice Festival. It's part of the Winter SKOLStice. The home of the Vikings is where we are, and we'll be talking about that during the rest of the show today. But the reality is I think a lot of Minnesota could use a chill, a cool down, a little bit of winter action, and so we'll be talking about some of that. Where are you? What is the mood? I am a little exhausted at being the guy who's supposed to tell everybody around the country and around the world how Minnesota is doing. What is the mood on the ground? What is the mood of people who live here? Because I think the mood is all over the place. When I was listening to Janae Harteau on with Chad, I was struck by her talking about the fear that she is afraid for her daughter who lives here in Minnesota. Grew up around law enforcement. Janae Harteau, the former police chief, an incredible officer, has done so much for the state of Minnesota. From the second I got here in 2003, she was one of the go-to experts on law enforcement. One of the good guys, right? And that her daughter is afraid of law enforcement because of what's going on with ICE, I think, is one of many tragedies of the way things have gone down over the last 10 days. Now, there is news today that things may be thawing a little bit. You'll notice that the mayor of Minneapolis, who got quite a bit of attention for saying that ICE should get the F out of here, and the governor, who told people to record everything so they could make a database of everything that ICE is doing wrong. We've not heard from them publicly yesterday or really today, which I would say my one word is optimistic, because there is word that some back-channel communications are finally starting to happen. The grown-ups have finally arrived in the reality that we cannot let our community be used as a pawn in a political game. And that's what we have been allowing over the last week, because it feels good. It feels good to tell the other side to go screw themselves, to go cram it, that they're hateful, they're evil, or they're allowing, lawlessness to run amok. The stupidest dialogue we've had for the last 10 days. And so there is hope that the silence, you heard it from Laura in the news, the announcement to go and support your local businesses came from who? The head of the Department of Kissing the Butt of Business? I don't know, great. Yes, let's hear from those people. What we don't need is another big pronouncement, another big statement from our elected officials, and until they're going to tell us, we're getting somewhere. So where are you? 651-461-9226. One word. What is your mood? All right, I'll give you two, because it's been a week.
Can I hyphenate? Is that
you
a,
can hyphenate?
Is that a thing?
You can hyphenate, Dan, for sure. Some of the words I can't say. They're coming in on the text line at 651-461-9226. Defiant. Pissed. 612er says somber. I'm going to think about that for a minute. What a powerful term, right? To describe where we're at, Dan, because I absolutely understand pissed and defiant. And I do feel like that emotion has guided us through most of sort of the tough times. When things go wrong, you yell, you fight back, you show up at a protest, you try to, you do that thing. But somber, I think somber is a good, powerful word.
It is. I mean, again, I want to hyphenate like about 4 or 5 words together, in terms of how I'm feeling, because there's deep, deep concern. No question about that. Yeah. Concern has to be one of the words.
Concern is good, yeah.
Because we've seen multiple times over the course of the last week to 10 days where this thing really could have gotten out of hand, and it so far hasn't.
Right.
But, that's probably a function of the cold. We've talked about that so many times. So there's deep concern that this could still blow up on us and really put the city in a really, really bad situation. And I also remain hopeful. I remain hopeful because of the people that you and I obviously we're talking to, and that there's conversations and there's efforts for somebody to be the adult in the room going on, and just with the character of Minnesotans, I believe in that strongly. I believe in the people of Minnesota to not let this go too far, but I still remain concerned.
Jim is in Crystal on the CCO Talk and Text line, 651-461-9226. Give me the word that describes your emotions right now, Jim.
I would say on edge.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That is good. Tell me more. Why do you feel that way?
My coworkers are, talking about this all the time at work, and they're doing their best to bite their lip and, try to keep this from escalating. But at some point, I feel like, if push comes to shove, and, I think if they start breaking down people's doors, they're going to find they're not going to get the results that they're looking for.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? Like I was talking before former police chief Harto came on with Chad, and I was asking her about things, and one of the things we talked about is like, okay, I've been impressed at how Minnesotans have not taken out their frustration, the frustration they have with federal agents and with some federal agents, but with what we've seen from the federal agents. So far, they haven't necessarily applied that to the local cops. Because I do feel for local police that have worked so hard to be better, to do a better job, that some of the tactics we've seen from some ICE agents you would never see from a local police officer. But Janae Harto said she thinks I said maybe we have a week before that starts to bubble over, and she said we have one incident. I think she might be right, Jim. One more incident might be all it takes.
I agree completely.
Yeah, on edge. Very good. Jim, thanks for listening. Max is in Minneapolis. Max, thanks for listening. One word that would describe your mood right now.
Calm.
Yeah. Why is that?
Well, I guess I'm downtown Minneapolis right now. I'm working. Obviously, I'm kind of upset with how things are going politically, and I feel like it's a lot of back and forth with the feds and the state. But I'll tell you what, I was out last night shooting pool with my Mexican brothers and sisters, with my Somalian brothers and sisters. We're all legal. We have nothing to worry about. We had a good time. We're all calm and collected, and we have nothing to worry about. So, as much as I want this to get out of here as soon as possible, it's business as usual as far as I'm concerned.
I think that's really good, Max. That's really good. Thank you for that. That's Max in Minneapolis. I think that's got to be part of it, right? You can't, and we've struggled with that a little bit, right? Like today we had the plan to come out to this, the Winter SKOLStice. But like part of what we need to do as a community is keep on. You got to keep doing your thing. You got to, and especially, last night, and I'll tell you about this after a break, but I do think that, last night we went to a restaurant owned by a friend of mine who grew up in Mexico City and is going back to Mexico City. He's writing a cookbook, and I'll talk to you more about his reaction because that has stuck with me as well. Drive time with DeRUSH. We're on location. 317. Keep the calls coming and the text coming. Where are you at? What is your mood? One word, 651-461-9226. Mark and Israel, stay on the line. We'll be back in just a minute.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, we are in Eagan at the Winter SKOLStice. And I got to tell you, I just walked around this unbelievable celebration of winter that starts in just about an hour. Today is the first day of the Vikings Lakes Ice Festival, and you're going to love it. Because this is an affordable way you can bring your family out, celebrate the winter, enjoy what makes Minnesota special. We are at the home of your favorite football team. And when you arrive at the Vikings Lake Ice Festival, you've got a great sheet of ice. You can rent some skates and go have some fun there. You've got an ice walk. It's sort of ice maze-like because my friend Michelle did get lost. She did get lost, but it's not as intricate if you remember the ice maze from last year. It's great photo ops. It's great fun. They've got 14 Nordic-themed ice sculptures out here. And then every day they've got 3 lumberjack shows, too. So you got lumberjacks all in their buffalo plaid, wood chips flying through the air, snow falling from above. This is just great stuff. And let me tell you, on weeknights, if you want to come next week during the week, just $8 for tickets. Weekends, $13. $13. It's cheaper than a movie. Come on out to the Vikings Lake Ice Festival in Eagan. WinterSKOLStice.com. WinterSKOL, S-K-O-L, Stice.com. Get those tickets. Embrace the Minnesota winter. Come on out tonight and say hi to us.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, E-T-H-O-S, ethos.com/Mike.
You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WEB-NOW-1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Jason DeRusha.
He's just,
He's a presence.
That's an excellent way of putting it. Excellent way of putting
presence.
it.
Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
We are live in Eagan at the Winter SKOLStice, the Vikings Lakes Ice Festival. We'll have more information, some conversation about that coming up in about 10 minutes. But we want to continue this discussion about the mood of Minnesota and the mood of you. One word to describe your emotions after what has been a heavy, overwhelming week where our state and our cities have been at the center of national and international news. Mark is in Minneapolis. Mark, describe where you're at. What is your mood?
I would say mainly I'm disgusted.
and disgusted over the behaviors of the ICE agents, and I'm also disgusted of the mainly Republican leaders who are unwilling to stand up against this. But I sort of, in my mind, I've decided the only way to get out of this is you got to let Trump declare victory and that he won. That he can come in here and we say, we sent ICE in here. We have made the city safer by arresting all these, immigrants who have been guilty of all these, bad crimes. And we have set up investigations of the feds into all the fraud that's going on with Minnesota. So we've accomplished our goals. Look at all we've done for Minnesota and its citizens. And we're at diminishing returns now with the immigrants that we've arrested most of the immigrant criminals so we can leave.
So we can move on.
And I think only by letting him declare victory is the way out.
Yeah, if anybody's got a spare Nobel Peace Prize medal around that they could maybe give the president, that might be helpful.
Sure.
That's how we've seen it. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it. Barb on the YouTube stream at the WCCO Radio live stream says overwhelmed. That's her word. Ruth on Facebook says frustrated. Let's go to let's go to Israel in Champlin. Thanks for waiting through the line, through the break. You are on CCO. What's your word to describe your emotions in Champlin?
I'm terrified. I'm scared.
What are you scared of?
I am a U.S. citizen. I born in Mexico City. So picture what is to me to drive to Minneapolis. And see.
Israel, I think a lot of people, whenever...
Everything what is going on. Me being brown, dark color, with no crime, I don't know what is going to be my reaction. I'm a short fuse. I promised my wife I will keep it calm. How you will keep it calm when you see how these people, these federal agents, are treating people? Tell me how I will keep it short, how I keep it calm.
Yeah.
I don't know how my reaction is going to be. I will be the next one who's going to get shot, or I will be in jail for homicide. I don't know. So, and being Latino, all the things I hear from the people that work with me is just horrible. It's just horrible. And I feel like I can't do nothing. I want to do a lot, but I can't. My hands are tied.
Israel, last night I was at a restaurant called Oro by Nixta, and the chef owner, Gustavo Romero, was...
Yep.
He grew up in a small town outside Mexico City. He's been a U.S. citizen for 3 years, built an unbelievable world-class restaurant in northeast Minneapolis. And he was telling me that this scenario reminds him of when the narcos would come to the villages and sort of the brutality of the cartel when they would show up, that this gives him a similar feeling of unease and fear, which just is, for me, was heartbreaking.
Yes.
Does that sound right?
It's surreal, yeah. It's just you only see it in the movies, and when you start living it in your own city, in your own country, where you are supposed to be safe, and like, where are we going?
Yeah. Now, people don't believe it, right? To a certain degree. So when we've talked about the fact that people who are not white, who are citizens and not white, have fear, a lot of our listeners say, like, come on, what's there to be afraid of? If you get pulled over or they come up to you, you just show your driver's license, and that's that. What do you say to that?
No, it's not. It's not, because they don't believe that you have a driver's license. They will think it's fake. That happens to people I know. They show the passport and they think it's fake, and they pull you out of the car, and they start to harassing. How you say? Start harassing you, and try to keep it calm. How you gonna do it? And you have the adrenaline, the fear, the scare, everything mixed at once, and the only thing you wanna do is punch them in the face.
Yeah,
we don't. It's what they're trying to do. Mr. Trump is super smart, big mouth guy. intelligent, but that's what he's doing. He want to organize this to send the military here to somehow we don't have elections next 3 years, and he will be being the president. You know, or he's trying to cover all the Epstein files, so it's not there. So he's manipulating this one really good.
Well, Israel, don't punch anybody. Don't lose your temper. We love you. We're glad to have you in our community. And I know it's tough, but I think one of the wiser things that we've heard from some of our elected officials is that you can't take the bait and you can't give them what they want. So I appreciate you listening and you calling. That's Israel from Champlain. You know, and people in the text and comments are making their comments. And what I would say is this emotion is real. This emotion is out there in people who are citizens in our community. And this is what is happening out there. Let's go to Dan in Hopkins. Dan, thanks for listening. What is your word? Where are you at right now?
Well, I'm hopeful, and I want new leadership in this state. This whole sanctuary city policy has been a complete disaster for America. And politicians, how in the world politicians can have sanctuary cities where illegals can stay here, unlike any other country in the world that I know of, and live and, you know, get government services, etc. You can't go to other countries and stay there indefinitely as an illegal alien. But here in Minneapolis, and with Tim Walz wanting it statewide, this is what started the problem. And
don't you think we as a country screwed this up, though, by turning a blind eye to the fact that we were allowing a porous border? We were sort of not paying attention when businesses were hiring people who weren't documented because we needed the people. And so I think for years, there were different politicians who said, we got to reform this. We got to figure out something to do. I do think we as a country have some responsibility for the fact that we let so many people in and never did anything about it and never addressed it. I don't think you can totally blame the sanctuary city people, although I think it's totally fair to have a conversation about whether that's been effective in making the city safer or not. I don't know. I do know. It hasn't been effective. It hasn't.
Well, I've worked with a lot of Hispanic contractors, and they work so hard, and they're dedicated, and they're wonderful. But still, we have to be a land that obeys the rule of law. We can't. That's why we hire. We're a constitutional republic where we hire. We actually hire politicians to do the right thing, and to bypass that and to do it illegally. And there was a large criminal element to a lot of this. Open border policy through the Biden administration that let thousands and thousands of dangerous people into our country, trafficking children and women. A lot of people died trying to get through the Darien Gap.
Yeah,
and now,
that's part of it. That's for sure part of it. But part of it is people who, as has happened since the Irish came here and since the Germans came here, is people who were trying to get a better life for themselves.
It became legally, just like my ancestors. A lot of them couldn't come. If you were sick or you were enfeebled, you couldn't come. So, a lot of them but they came legally. They didn't come illegally.
Yeah. I just don't know.
I have an idea.
Go ahead,
Jason.
Sure.
If you're here illegally and you fraudulently filled out paperwork, et cetera, surrender and go back.
Do you think
surrender
if you
yourself in?
Yeah,
turn yourself in. That's
do you think if you've been here for 30
years,
and you've worked and you've never committed a crime and you've had a family, should there be some sort of process to give people who have been doing their best?
I think I'm open to that, but a lot of this has happened in the last 5 years.
Yeah,
right?
I'm with, and I agree. I agree with you 100% on that. I agree with you on that.
It's 5 years, and the media is not reporting the actual criminals that are being caught and deported, and these protesters are resisting and obstructing the arrest of actual criminals.
Yeah.
Who have raped children.
Don't you think, though, it would be more legit if they we're not like going up to randos at a gas station, and instead we're targeting and being more methodical like they've always done, like ICE has always done?
Well, they haven't done it since Obama. ICE was not allowed to do their job. Obama eliminated ICE for the most part. And, the city, Minneapolis Police Department, St. Paul are not cooperating. There will not be removal of illegal aliens under Democratic rule. It just won't. It just never will, because it's a voting block.
All right. We're not going to solve immigration and the history of that. But Dan, you and I are not going to get it done. That is for sure. Dan, thank you. I will say this, for the people who think that illegal immigration is some sort of scheme to get more votes, Cole Parter, you're out of your mind. Like, Minnesota does not need the first of all, you think all people who are undocumented are voting? Give me a break. It's just silly. We can argue about and I've said, I think that you either change the laws and reform immigration, or you enforce the existing laws. But there are different ways that you can enforce the laws. And there are ways you can do it to maintain legitimacy, and then there are things we've had here. Let's break. Appreciate all the text. Everybody, some people are embarrassed. Some people are furious. Lots of people are hopeful, sad. It's everybody's all over the place. So I appreciate it. Let's break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Vikings Lake Ice Festival. Go have some fun. Go cool down your temper. It's all good stuff right here at Egan. We're live on location. Back in just a minute.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Maybe you read the headlines today. The housing market is ice cold. It's Jason here for my friend Chris Lindahl, who wants you to know there is a better way. There are options. You do have choices. And you've seen Chris forever on the billboards, the arms out real estate agent. But what Chris has done is come up with a guaranteed cash offer. And the guaranteed cash offer right now in a market where there aren't a ton of houses on the market, buyers are incredibly picky, the economy is fragile, the guaranteed cash offer can get you to closing in 2 days. So the real question for you is, what kind of headaches do you want to deal with? Do you want to go on the open market and deal with the frustration and people backing out and on and on and on? Or do you want to take a guaranteed cash offer? Find out if it's right for you. Chris Lindahl is at chrislindahl.com. You maybe see him giving the big red checks out, because that big red check is money in your pocket fast. Certainty. Get to chrislindahl.com today.
Hey, you. It's me, you, from later this year, actually. I was just calling to say thanks. We didn't fix everything this year. We still skipped the gym. We still Googled, is this bad? Way too much. But, we stayed informed. We listened. We actually tried to understand why people believe the way they do. That was something we wanted to do this year, and we stayed with it. I'm kind of proud of us. Hang in there, okay?
The one resolution that actually sticks. Stay informed and change the conversation this year with News Talk 830 WCCO.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK. Start the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic every day. Available online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com or at your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery, or Wegmans.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Winter-like weather, colder conditions could cause you some slippery spots on the drive. Right now, 94 east and westbound, we have a crash near Groveland and LaSalle Avenue. You're showing about a 6-minute delay on that eastbound commute, 12 minutes if you're headed westbound on 94 there. 169 northbound, a crash near Acorn Way and Jordan. 494 westbound, crash near Valley Creek Road and Lake Road. Watch for the crash on 65. That is near 93rd Lane and 10. I'm Jim Hughes on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast time. Snow is flying right now. Let's see what Chris Schaefer has to say.
The snow moves out tonight, but the wind will stay noticeable right through the weekend. We'll drop back to 6 tonight, only a high of 10 tomorrow with a mostly cloudy sky. Some light snow passes by on Sunday. Most pick up less than an inch. That'll be our one warmer day with a high up around 16. We chill into next week.
Right now in Eagan, what do we got? What's the temperature? I don't know. 18? Snowing at 18 on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH, video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, we are live at Vikings Lakes. It's the Vikings Lakes Ice Festival. Oh, baby. And it is awesome. We are in the warming house right now of Winter SKOLStice, and I'm joined by the general manager of the Vikings Lakes Complex in Eagan. It is Kyle Schenk. Kyle, it's great to have you with us.
Thanks for being here. Appreciate you guys coming out to Viking Lakes.
Winter SKOLStice, tell me what the idea of this is.
Started 5 years ago. We honestly just built some hockey rinks down on the ponds. We didn't know how many people would show up.
Just trying to have some fun,
Yeah,
right?
family-friendly fun. Lean into winter, embrace the coldest winter. You said it's 18. It feels like it's a little colder out there.
It does.
Right
The
now.
wind and the snow.
Yeah.
But the snow kind of helps the vibe,
Yeah,
don't
we
you
got
think?
the nice windows back here. So we've grown from about 500 people showing up to skate to last year we did 125,000 people.
No way.
And it climaxes right now with what we have going on with the giant ice maze. So we have a lot of different warm areas to experience, but also get out and enjoy the fun.
This is, I think, for a lot of people, a cool opportunity to get out here. Like if you've never been to kind of training camp for the Vikings or never been to one of the Minnesota Aurora matches, you really get to get up close and see just how gorgeous this whole complex is, right?
Yeah, I mean, people think of us for the Vikings, for Aurora, for PLL.
Right.
But there is the Omni Hotel. It has a full-service restaurant in there. We have residential.
It's really good,
Very
too.
good.
Yes.
Try the pizza when you come out.
Oh, the pizza's killer,
So
yes.
you have everything. You have everything from bringing your daughters out to come watch soccer to living on campus to doing
You can
a date
bring your
night.
sons to walk soccer.
Exactly.
I brought my sons out here, Kyle.
Exactly. So it's everything for the families to do. And then this one in the winter has grown. We always have something free. And then this year we're doing cheaper tickets, so $8 tickets to get in.
It's way cheaper. I want people to know that because, last year if you came out to the Minnesota Ice, like the world's largest ice maze, which was awesome.
Yeah, it was huge.
It was awesome. But, that was a little more expensive.
Yep.
This is half the price, right?
Half the price.
It's cheaper than a movie if you want to come out tonight.
Exactly, yeah. I feel like we have the cheapest drinks in town, too, for major stadiums. So different areas, and you can come in with a family of 4 for under $40.
It's pretty great. And there's a lot to do out here. Kyle Schenk runs Viking Lakes right here in Eagan. Easy to get to right off the highway, too. When you look at, and I went and walked through the maze, or we're calling it the ice walk because it's not a giant maze, but you can still get lost in there.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. If you want to get lost, you can.
It's up to you.
Yes,
yeah, exactly.
exactly.
But there's like a throne, and there's sort of all sorts of Viking style ice sculptures in there. It's pretty good stuff.
I'd say it's more Instagrammable experiences this time around.
Nice. What else do you have for people to do out here? There's going to be live music starting tonight at 6 in here in the warming house.
And every night at 6. So
every night?
Yeah,
okay.
Whether you come on a Tuesday or a Saturday, every night we have a lumberjack show 3 times a day. So there'll be lumberjacks out there in the cold doing some performances. We have Launchpad Golf, which is the new one down at Mystic Lake. They're doing a golf experience where you hit it out onto the ice. And then probably my favorite one, there's a speakeasy. You got to go try to find it. But once you walk in, it's a little bit more high-end experience, craft cocktails, and very warm inside there.
What time are the speakeasy people bringing us cocktails?
I was going to say 4:01. You guys will
right.
have
That's when
something
it starts up. It's pretty cool. What is this like for you to see, like, you know, to see the families out here, to see the first dates out here? I mean, it's got to be this. This is one of the bonus cool parts about your job, I would think.
Oh, absolutely. We've been here 8 years now, and I think the best part
It's
about
been
it,
8 years.
8 years.
Right.
The building will be open 8 years in April. And the Vikings, of course, obviously have such a strong brand presence, even internationally now when they're going to London. But what I get most excited about is you see familiar faces. You see people from Egan, people from the other side of town that come over just for the experience, the community, which is what everyone's craving right now after
Don't
COVID.
you think? Yeah. Especially right now, I think the idea of, like, embracing the winter, having some fun in the cold, like, people are sort of tempted to cocoon when times are tough, and I think the opposite is what we need. You got to get out there.
Exactly, and I joke I'm from Palm Springs, California, so if I can be out there skating, so can you guys.
How heavy is your coat as a Palm Springs guy? Has your blood thickened up since you've moved here?
It sure has, yeah. I was out there moving tables and chairs, giving you guys Wi-Fi passwords, so we're out here making it happen.
How fast, when you go back to Palm Springs, do you become just a straight-up pansy?
Oh, yeah. It's my shorts game and my golf game has gotten worse.
It happens. Kyle Chag, Viking Lakes. There's a warming house, too, so you don't have to worry about it. Tonight, it's a little cold, but come on. Like, I feel like, are we Minnesotans or not? Can you toughen it up and get out and enjoy, like, some good Minnesota fun? Plus, it's going to be great for the gram.
Yes.
I mean, think of the likes.
Do it for the social media, and then go warm up inside the speakeasy.
I said first dates. Is this a first date, a good first date location,
It
you
is,
think?
yeah. I mean, it's going to be running through Valentine's Day weekend, so we go through February 22nd. So it's a good one for the Valentine's
Starts
Day.
tonight. 4 o'clock is when it starts,
Yep.
and then on the weekends you run longer hours
Yeah,
on
we run
Saturday.
10 a.m. to 10 p.m. With the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday coming up on Monday. We'll be open 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. too.
And if people, should they get tickets in advance, or can you get it when you show up, or how does that work?
You can get it on your phone right when you show up too. So if you watch the weather and see what's coming, but we'll be open rain or shine or snow.
And the website is winterskolsstice.com if you want to buy it ahead of time. But yeah, you can just, everybody's sort of used to this now.
Yep.
Every event you go to, you hit the QR code and buy it. Kyle, really great talking to you. Thanks for having us out here, and we'll see you at 4:01.
Right on cue.
Kyle Chag is the general manager of Viking Lakes, the home of the Winter SKOLStice. Pretty fun. Good chance to get out here and enjoy something. Man, you need a little fun, right? It's been a stressful stretch. Like, I think going around and throwing a snowball at your kids seems like maybe the best thing we could do for each other right now. There is one other thing that I think we can do that you would enjoy, and that is win tickets to Chris Stapleton. Dan?
That was exactly what I was going to say.
I knew it.
Amazing.
I knew exactly what you were going to say. We're going to do the ticket giveaway. Dan and I are giving away tickets. Why are we giving away tickets? Because we love you.
Because we can.
Who's more generous than Dan Cook and me?
Got me.
Hard to think of anybody. 651-461-9226. That is our number. 651-461-9226. We will play Name That Tune. So you got to be a Stapleton fan. Live Nation gave us these tickets. We're so grateful. You can buy tickets to Chris Stapleton at the brand new Mystic Lake Amphitheater, not too far from here in Shakopee. So let's go. Fill up the phone lines. We will play Name That Stapleton Tune in just a minute here on Drive Time.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Would you like to go to Ireland this year? Oh, I know you would. It's Jason inviting you to join me on a Colette tour, Shades of Ireland. This trip is going to be so epic, and I really would love to have you get in on it. It is selling like crazy because Minnesotans love Ireland. It's the kind of vacation that's been on the bucket list for me and Alyssa. We've never been, and that changes on September 13th. If you go to WCCOradio.com right now, and up at the top of the screen, it says more. You click on Shades of Ireland. It'll bring you to our landing page. You're going to learn about this trip, which is September 13th through the 22nd. 10 days. We're having most of your meals are included, all of your hotel stays, your transfer, your luxury motor coach as we go around the Ring of Kerry, stand on the cliffs of Moher, stay an overnight at an Irish castle, and we will kiss the Blarney Stone. You can kiss it with a loved one. You know, a lot of you on the text line have been telling me to go kiss the Blarney Stone as well. Yes, we're doing a Guinness tour. Yes, we're doing a whiskey distillery. I mean, this trip is going to be so much fun. Let's go to Ireland with Colette. Colette takes care of everything. You're going to love it. WCCOradio.com. You'll see the pop-ups. Click on more. Go to Ireland. Join. Oh, you could call too. 866-436-6734.
If you're on the job day in and day out, you know living with pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulders is miserable. The good news, QC Kinetics gets it. They understand guys like you.
They don't have the luxury of taking time off. They want to keep working. We are built for those guys that want to keep working and want to stay active. So the vast majority of who we see are the blue-collar guys like me and you.
QC Kinetics uses biologic therapies, just like pro athletes have used for years, to get you lasting pain relief with no surgery.
I want you to continue working. I want you to continue exercising. The joints are made to be moved.
The treatments at QC Kinetics are fast and non-invasive.
It's not a lot of time commitment on your part. There is no downtime or recovery time. You don't need short-term disability with what we do. We want to keep you active.
Call QC Kinetics now to set up your free no-obligation consultation. Learn how you can get real pain relief and stay on the job.
Call QC Kinetics, 612-254-7123. That's 612-254-7123. 612-254-7123.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust, with respect that you deserve.
Hi, I'm Mike Bryant. Over the years at holiday time, Bradshaw & Bryant has been able to help thousands of central Minnesotans arrive home safely from the bars. This year, there's still lots of things that we can do to ensure that you stay safe on the roads, like slowing down, giving yourself enough time that you're not in a rush, no texting and driving, hands-free phone calls, and of course, no drinking and driving. Please be safe so that you get home to your loved ones. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. This year, my biggest wish is that we all remain happy, healthy, and even a little more kind to one another.
A lawyer who will fight with confidence and pride, working harder, going farther, with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Travel today could actually be slowed down with some windy conditions and winter-like weather. We do have a crash right now. 94 eastbound, the crash from Groveland to LaSalle Avenue, causing about a 7-minute delay in that eastbound side. 494 westbound, you have a crash near 59 Valley Creek Road and Lake Road. 169 northbound, another crash near Acorn Way and County Road. Debris still in the roadway at 100, and that's between 55 and Duluth Golden Valley Road. I'm Jim Hughes on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Oh, it is cold in Eagan right now. The air temperature isn't that bad, 18 degrees, but the wind gust, and we're hearing them here in the warming house, are going up to 30 miles an hour. So it feels like 3 below. That will be the story throughout the weekend. Tonight, the low air temperature will be 6, but the winds are going to keep on howling. Tomorrow, a high of only 10. Sunday, the high is 16. Light snow returns on Sunday, but it'll feel below 0, maybe an inch on Sunday. Not a huge amount. A little too cold for that, I guess. Right now, it's 17 on CCO.
Jason DeRusha.
These are my issues here, and they become yours too, because that's what this show is.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, that's the clip. That's all you get of Chris Stapleton. We thank Live Nation for giving us these tickets all week. It's been so fun to give these tickets away. But let's see if we can do it. 2 shows, 2 Stapleton shows. They added a show because it was so hot. July 29th is what these tickets are for, and July 30th. We only have 4 callers on the line, 651-461-9226. Some of these have gone away, so we'll see. This one, I think, is a little easier. Tickets on sale at Ticketmaster.com. Let's go to Scott in Lakeville. We will play that clip for you one more time, Scott. Go ahead, Josh. Scott in Lakeville, can you name that Chris Stapleton song?
Yeah, the Broken Halos.
Yeah. Wow. It's a little easy. Right, and we hit it. We gave the clip like right before the song name. Scott, you are the first caller to get this done all week. We have gone to caller 4,
We've gone to 5.
caller 5, but a little Friday generosity from us. Scott, congratulations.
Way to go.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. That's good for me. I appreciate it.
That is good for you. How this will be at the brand new Mystic Lake Amphitheater. No one's seen a show there, so you're part of the first season out there. Who are you going to bring? How big of a Stapleton fan are you?
I like them a lot, but I think my oldest daughter is even a bigger fan, so I'm going to take her with.
Perfect.
Oh, I love that.
Well done.
I love that. What's your daughter's name?
Livia. With an L.
Oh, Livia. Wonderful.
Yep.
Scott, you're going to have so much fun. This new venue is beautiful. And they did add another show because there was so much demand. So July 29th, you're going on Wednesday night. It's the All-American Road Show at the new Mystic Lake Amphitheater, but this bonus show is added. So if you didn't win tickets this week, if you go to Ticketmaster.com or LiveNation.com, you can buy those tickets. But, Scott, you and Livia don't have to worry about it.
You're all set.
You're all set?
All right.
Congratulations,
man. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for listening, too. I really appreciate that, and maybe a little joy at the end of a heavy week and a heavy couple weeks here in the Twin Cities. So congrats.
Yeah, thank you. Be safe out there. The roads are terrible.
Ugh. The drive here to Eagan to get to Vikings Lakes, you could tell it's like, oof. It's
getting a little slickery, yeah.
It's a little slick out there. Scott, stay on the line. Andrea, Ben, Cindy, thanks for listening. Thanks for calling. Sorry we made it so easy. It's too easy.
I guess.
Although, is it? I don't know. We want to give him away.
Maybe he just was a super fan and nailed it. I mean, you don't know.
Chris Stapleton, fantastic, and to see.
So he's going to have 2 shows out there. They've got Mellencamp coming out there.
Just announced yesterday.
Pitbull's coming out there.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big season at that amphitheater. This should be a great place to watch a show.
I think Pitbull is the end of the season right now. So
perfect. That's not a bad way to cap it off.
I'm pro Pitbull. I'm pro Pitbull. Are you more Pitbull or Flo Rida? Dan Cook, Pitbull or Flo Rida?
I would probably lean Pitbull.
Yeah. Did you know Florida also spells Florida? Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah. What
a coincidence.
A lot of people don't know that.
I wonder if his parents knew that when they named him that.
I don't know. Last name Ryder, you got to be careful.
I suppose.
With your choices. Yeah, I don't know. We've lost our minds is what happened. We are live at Viking Lakes, Eagan, Minnesota. Don't be a weather wimp. Come on out. I got my hat. I got my gloves. I got my heavy coat. Like, I'm not afraid.
No.
Go walk through the maze. This opens in just a couple of minutes. You can get your tickets online or just come on out. Mama Fisher on YouTube is all Florida.
Well,
yeah.
To each their own.
You know, take your dolly and cram it, is what she's saying. Do we have to fight about everything?
I don't know, but you seem like you really want somebody to here.
I want is to go back to fighting about things that don't matter.
Well,
that's my
that would
favorite.
be nice.
That's my wheelhouse.
That would be
Like,
a nice
can we
departure.
fight about
For
stuff
sure.
that does not matter? We are going to keep the fun going on a Friday.
Yeah, let's give away some more stuff.
Card DeSharks is coming up at the top of the hour. So we will play Card DeSharks on location. So we do need contestants. But I want to wait. Should we wait? Because I don't want to mess it. We got to get Ben's or Josh probably has Ben's information.
He probably has it by now.
All right, so let's go.
Let's just do it.
If you want to play Card DeSharks, we are giving away a gift certificate, a gift card at Gesture Concepts. So you could go out to dinner, give $50 with. Or Scott was the winner. Sorry, Ben. Rough break for you. 651-461-9226. We'll play Card DeSharks at the top of the hour.
If you're one of the millions of Americans behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-783-8055. That's 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Refresh your bathroom with big savings at Lowe's. Reimagine your bathroom with up to 40% off select faucets during our Bath Savings event. Need it today? Order by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Shop for your bathroom refresh at Lowe's. We help, you save. While supplies last, selection varies by location. Same-day delivery on eligible in-stock items, subject to availability. Fees vary. Visit Lowes.com/same-day delivery for full terms.
Breaking news, in-depth talk, all in one place. News Talk 830 WCCO, KMNB HD2, Minneapolis.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. New details on last week's fatal shooting of 37-year-old Renee Good in Minneapolis by ICE officer Jonathan Ross. CBS's Ian Lee has more from Minneapolis.
This coming from the Minneapolis Fire Department. They say that at 9:37, Renee Good was shot. 5 minutes later, that's when paramedics arrived. They noticed she had a gunshot wound to the chest, to the forearm, possibly one to the head. She was unconscious. She wasn't responsive. She wasn't breathing.
President Trump has threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act, which would allow him to deploy troops to end protests in the Twin Cities after the shooting and death of Good and the wounding of another person. Governor Tim Walz's office confirms that he's engaged in an ongoing conversation with the White House. From Minneapolis to Los Angeles, where ICE agents reportedly detained some people in the Fashion District yesterday. And there are concerns about the fallout for business owners and families. KNX's John Baird.
People who work in and around the Fashion District tell me they definitely have noticed a drop-off in the number of shoppers coming out to spend money.
Now it's kind of slow, super slow, everything closed, yeah.
Terrible situation we have here in L.A.
Some say the stores are normally open pretty early, but not here, not today.
Oh, man, that's awful. It's the heartbeat of downtown.
John Baird for CBS News, Los Angeles.
The USS Abraham Lincoln Aircraft Carrier Strike Group has begun to move west from the Indo-Pacific towards the Middle East, according to a source familiar, and satellite imagery confirmed by CBS News. More from CBS's Charlie D'Agata.
They're taking that Abraham Lincoln into the Middle East. That is a significant move, which sort of gives the indication there's messaging involved here, telling Iran we're putting an aircraft carrier and that carrier strike group, including the destroyers, more fighter jets, in that region. It certainly is a forward posture for the United States.
And the EU advises airlines to avoid Iranian airspace given the ongoing potential for U.S. military action. In court today,
State of Utah versus Tyler James Robinson.
The man accused of killing conservative activist Charlie Kirk last September is asking a judge to disqualify prosecutors, alleging conflict of interest because the deputy county attorney's child was at the Kirk event. Prosecutors have asked the judge to deny the disqualification request. Stocks edge a bit below their latest records on Wall Street. Gains for several big tech companies helped offset weakness elsewhere. A handful of regional U.S. banks reported their earnings following mixed reports from their larger peers. Pittsburgh's PNC jumped after it beat Wall Street's fourth quarter targets. The Dow closed down 83 points and the Nasdaq fell 15. This is CBS News.
Follow and listen to the official 48 Hours After Show post-mortem on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Minnesota's trusted voice, every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Windy with light snow, 14 degrees at 4:03. I'm Laura Oakes. 28 Democratic members of Congress flying to the Twin Cities for today's congressional field hearing on ICE activities in the state. Minnesota Congresswoman Kelly Morrison says the ICE presence ordered by President Trump has nothing to do with immigration.
In recent days, he has 3 times, the president said that he won the election in Minnesota, which is historically inaccurate, not factually true.
Morrison says the number of constituents she heard from who have been detained just this morning is shocking.
United States citizen, a hockey dad who was in a parking lot. Unclear what he's being charged with, but he's detained. U.S. citizen running an errand in the suburbs. And then a 20-year-old U.S. Marine detained by ICE.
Members say the president is only trying to escalate tension so he can invoke the Insurrection Act, and they're urging protesters not to fall for it. Meanwhile, we're perhaps seeing some movement from President Trump, who today said he doesn't think there's any reason right now to use the Insurrection Act, but says if he needed it, he'd use it. This as Minnesota Governor Tim Walz's office says the governor is engaged in an ongoing conversation with the White House. Minnesota law enforcement agencies keeping a close watch on a flurry of protests scheduled this weekend across the metro.
Demonstrations must remain safe and they must remain lawful.
Minnesota Department of Public Safety Commissioner Bob Jacobson issuing that message ahead of planned weekend protests in the Twin Cities. He says any acts of violence, damage to property, and threats to public safety will be met with lawful enforcement actions.
The Minnesota National Guard has staged in a way such that they can respond quickly if needed. Again, just as was the case last weekend, it is our hope that they won't be needed. We are optimistic that that will be the case.
Mark Fry, News Talk 830 WCCO.
As a handful of groups cancel their weekend events in the Twin Cities due to the unrest, Minneapolis leaders want you to know the city's doors are still open.
Many businesses are currently suffering from the presence of ICE because people are afraid to leave their homes. But Eric Hansen, Director of Community Planning and Economic Development, released a video encouraging people to support local establishments.
All of us are making our own decisions about when and where we go, as federal officers are in the Twin Cities and beyond. We also want to support our restaurants, our dry cleaners, pharmacies, and all the businesses that keep our city moving. If we stop living our lives, stop supporting what makes our city so great, then ICE wins.
He wants everyone to know the city is full of energy and love for each other and anyone who visits. Ari Bergeron, News Talk 830 WCCO.
And finally, a South St. Paul high school student is going the extra mile, giving rides to classmates who fear they may be swept up by ICE agents on their way to school.
When kids aren't able to go to school because they're so afraid of being taken, I mean, it's very difficult to see, and I take it's my responsibility to help them in any way that I can. And in this case, it's just giving them rides, and that's the least I can do to help.
Jackson Schultz talking with WCCO's Adam and Jordana today. WCCO News Time is 4:06.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
As you head out maybe to that Winter Ice Festival going on there on the road, catching a live broadcast, you might want to be careful as we do have some crashes on your drive. 35W northbound, 36, that's where that crash is. 100 northbound, debris in the roadway, that is near 55 and Duluth and Golden Valley Road. 3094, the HOV lane, westbound side, you have a crash there between 100 and 394. I'm Jim Hughes on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Go to Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Eagan for real Texas barbecue. All meats smoked fresh in-house daily. You can dine in, take out, have it delivered, or have your event catered anywhere in the metro. Just go to Dickeys.com. Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Eagan, the Twin Cities catering leader.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Eagan, the Twin Cities catering leader. Find them at Dickeys.com. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
The bands of light snow will move out tonight. The one constant, the wind. Coming from the northwest 10 to 15 will drop back to 6. Clearly, it feels below 0 because of that wind. Mostly cloudy tomorrow with a high of 10. Light snow possible again on Sunday with a high of 16. That snow generally under an inch.
Windy with light snow right now, 14 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Cold days, hot topics. News Talk 830 WCCO. Good questions. Topics you'll probably talk about at dinner. Places to go for dinner. This is the Ride Home Reimagined. Welcome to Drive Time with DeRUSH. Now, here's Jason DeRUSH.
All right, we are live in Eagan at Viking Lakes. It is the Winter SKOLStice, the Viking Lakes Ice Festival, and it is now open for business, and we're open for business, too. Lots of news going on. It's Jason. Dan is here as well. Jim Hughes watching the drive and hanging out on the Facebook feed. Hi, Jim, and we appreciate everybody who's watching us on YouTube, on X, at DeRushJ, and on Facebook. So appreciate all of that. It's been a busy news week, and so we're trying to have some fun on this Friday. Why not? Bring the family out to the Winter SKOLStice. You can stop by. I mean,
people are already starting to mill around here a little bit.
And we're right in the warming house. So if you come on out, come on over and say hi. And I think we've got like some, I don't know, there's some stuff in here. There's some prizes.
Some swag you can win. They got the hot chocolate stand over there.
Yeah, why not?
We're all set.
Ice maze you can walk through. There's an ice skating rink. And my favorite is there's a place you can hit a bucket of balls into the pond across the way.
Sure.
Now, if you drive the ball like I do.
Stand close to the pond?
That's right. Yeah, it's probably not going to work out too well for us. All right, we are ready to play Minnesota's fastest growing afternoon high-low related card game. Yes, we're on location, but that doesn't stop the card DeSharks. And it doesn't stop our poet laureate either. The January thaw felt oh so nice, but it still did not rid us of ice. A snap of cold is on its way, so hunker down and call to play on guard, DeSharks. How about that? Kristen Olsen.
Oh, she nails it every time.
She does. That was one of her best. Very nice. We have two great contestants. We start with Dan from New Brighton. Dan, how are you?
Doing fine.
Excellent. Excellent. Dan is ready to go, and we've got the cards dealt out in front of us in Eagan. Dan, the odds that you would go hang out tonight with the wind chill at 2 below, maybe a nice sheet of ice and lacing up the skates and embracing winter. 1 to 10, what are the odds that is in the cards for you?
3.
Okay, well,
that's not bad.
Yeah, that's higher than it would be for me, to be honest.
I mean, we're being paid to be here, so that's a whole other thing.
Very good. Well, stand by, Dan. we'll get to you in just a minute, but I want you to meet your other contestant, and that is Gavin in Minneapolis. Hi, Gavin.
Hey, how's it going, Jason?
I am doing all right. Odds that you would come out and lace up the skates and just enjoy a beautiful ice skating experience on a 3 below wind chill night?
I'm probably going to agree with Dan that it's about a 3.
All right. I think both
Fair.
of you. I like the optimism.
Yeah.
I like the optimism.
Yeah.
They're not ruling it out. We are playing for $50 at Gesture Concepts. Any of the Gesture Concepts restaurants, you can redeem this. Rustica has a new location in Wayzata. They're in downtown Minneapolis. They're near Bidet McCoska. And then you got Parlor. Man, tonight will be a good night for a Parlor
Very
burger.
good night for a parlor burger.
Mm-hmm. Excelsior, St. Paul. I think the St. Paul Parlor doesn't get enough love. It's on West 7th. It's a great spot before you go watch the Minnesota Wild lose at Grand Casino Arena. It's been a rough stretch. We'll
talk a little Wild hockey later in the show with Jess Myers from the Pioneer Press, but yeah, not good last night.
All right, here's how we play our game. The cards are dealt out. The goal is to turn over 5 cards, going higher or lower as those cards come out. We begin with a question, and the question will decide who gets control of the board. So, Dan, the first question goes to you, and I'm going to ask my friend Dan Cook to help us out by reading the question in his best game show style. So, Dan Cook, the first question goes to Dan in New Brighton.
Dan in New Brighton, we asked 100 third graders, have you ever had to wait hours for Dad to put together a toy that says, quote, easily assembled? 100 third graders. How many out of 100 third graders said, yes, I have had to wait hours for Dad to put together a toy that says easily assembled?
Dan, what do you think?
I'll say about 75.
75. Dan, are you a quality furniture assembler, would you say?
Not exactly.
Not exactly, yeah.
IKEA sees you coming, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, fair enough. Gavin, an IKEA entertainment center that was 3 different boxes, 2 shelves, and sort of a skyway that connected them both, very nearly broke up my marriage back in 1999. Incredibly, we survived it. So some assembly required or easy assembly is not my ballpark. Dan in New Brighton says 75 third graders said they've had to wait for hours. Do you think the actual number is higher or lower?
I'm going to go with lower.
Gavin goes lower. The actual number, Dan, of third graders who have had to wait hours for dads to put together a toy that says easily assembled is
73.
Ooh.
Great guess by Dan, but just a shade lower, and Gavin nails it.
All right, Gavin, congratulations. You get control of the cards. And if you're watching on our YouTube stream or our Facebook page, you can see that we're not making this up. There are, in fact, cards in front of you. There are blue cards. And then there is another deck of cards with pictures of bourbon on it.
It's the booze cards. You have the blue cards and the booze cards.
So do you want the blue cards or the booze cards?
Got to go booze.
Yeah, it makes sense on a cold night today. We start with your opening card, and it's an ace.
Wow.
Aces are high, so a nice start for you. You've got the ace. Higher or lower than an ace?
Lower.
Lower than an ace? You know that's going to be right. It is. It's a 7. And now you've got a bit of a dilemma. You can freeze at any time to save your progress. Those 7s are kind of stinky in the middle. But you don't have much to lose with only 1 card turned over. So what do you want to do? Higher, lower, or freeze on that 7?
I'm going to freeze.
All right. Very good. We freeze on the 7.
Because the beauty of freezing on the 7 is if he gets the next one, he gets to change the 7.
Exactly.
That's the smart play.
And the question goes to Gavin as well, our next question. And Dan, you have that question.
Next question. Gavin, we talked to 100 newlywed women. And we asked them, if you could spend every hour of every day with your husband, would you want to do it? How many of those 100 women said, yes, I would absolutely want to spend every hour of every day with my husband?
Oh, boy. Are you a married guy, Gavin?
I am.
Do you remember those newlywed days when the love was fresh and pure and abundant?
They seem like a long time ago, but I can remember.
How long have you been married?
Going on 16 years.
16?
Solid. It's a good
That's
run.
excellent. That's excellent. Congratulations. What do you think? How many newlywed women? I wonder if there would be a different answer, men or women, on this. But 100 newlywed women, how many say that if they could spend every hour of every day with your husband, they would want to?
I'll go with 36.
36, says Gavin. Dan, what do you think? Are you a married guy?
Yes, I am.
How many years for you?
54.
54. How do you make it to 54 years? What's the secret?
Patience.
Patience. Yeah. Yeah. Who had to exhibit more patience, Dan or Mrs. Dan?
It's Dan.
Yeah. Oh, all right.
Who has to exhibit more patience on the show, you or me?
Well, it is you for sure. Yeah, there's no doubt. That's exactly.
That wasn't me. Josh hit the bell.
All right, Dan. Gavin said 36 newlywed women would want to spend every hour of every day with their newlywed husbands. Do you think it's higher or lower than 36?
I'm going to go slightly higher.
All right.
I'll just say 39.
Dan goes slightly higher. You don't even have to give a number.
Yeah, you don't have to be specific. You get everything above 36.
If it's higher, you win.
Okay.
If it's 36 or lower, Gavin wins. Dan Cook, what is the actual number of newlywed women?
Jason, the number of newlywed women that said that if they could, they would spend every hour of every day with their husband was actually 35.
Whoa!
Gavin nearly posted it.
Gavin, your guesses are phenomenal.
Both these guys are guessing great.
Yeah, both of you guys are really, really good. So Gavin gets to maintain control, and it makes your freeze very fortuitous, Gavin. You're on that 7. You can change it if you would like.
Yeah, I'd like to change, please.
All right, the 7 becomes a queen. That's a nice
That's a
change.
Good pull.
Very good. So now you're in good shape. Higher or lower than a queen?
We'll go lower.
Lower than a queen it is. A 9, it is lower than a queen. And you are 2 cards away from winning that gift card. A 9 is kind of a middle card. What I want to do is I want to give you a minute to think about what you're going to do next. Gavin has turned over 3 cards. Dan is waiting for his chance at the cards. We are playing Card DeSharks live on location in Eagan at Viking Lakes. We're at the Winter SKOLStice Festival. Great chance for you to come on out. Just opened up a couple of minutes ago. Enjoy winter. The snow is lightly falling. A chill is in the air. And we're playing Card DeSharks on CCO.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, J.H. & Sons at the Galleria in Edina has a great sale going on this weekend, and they just upped the game. They just upped the sale to make it even better than before. It's Jason for my headquarters for men's clothing. J.H. & Sons is my absolute favorite. And the winter clearance is in effect. It's this weekend only. You can save 50% on all of the beautiful luxury clothing they have remaining for the fall and the winter inventory. And they are doing a buy one, get one on select sport coats. How about that? J.H. & Sons has the best selection of clothing, premium menswear in the state. And the fact that you could go there and buy one, get one free of their select sport coats, bonkers. Bonkers. What are you waiting for? Get to J.H. & Sons at the Galleria. Say hi to Kevin. Say hi to Bryce. Say hi to Dean. Say hi to anybody on that amazing team at J.H. & Sons, because they will give you service that will blow your mind. Enjoy the service and enjoy the savings. This weekend, why not? It's going to be cold. Go shopping. Get to Edina, get to the Galleria, and get to my place for men's clothing, J.H. & Sons.
When it comes to affordable term life insurance, everyone's whistling the Big Lou tune. If you're over 50, maybe a bit porky, or have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost about $200 a month. Even if you're not in perfect health, call Big Lou, because he specializes in finding big chunks of affordable term life insurance for just about everyone. Don't let diabetes or other health glitches keep you from owning $500,000 to $1 million or more of of term life insurance. For affordable term life insurance, call Big Lou. Don't hesitate. Call 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898 or visit biglou.com.
Call Big Lou, don't hesitate. 800-700-6898. Call Big Lou, don't hesitate. 800-700-6898. Visit biglou.com.
I built this business the old-fashioned way. Hard work and a whole lot of spreadsheets.
Yeah, about that, I upgraded us to Odoo. Odoo puts everything we need, sales, inventory, accounting, on one connected platform. No more juggling systems, no more headaches.
So it all works together?
Exactly.
Odoo is the all-in-one business software that makes running and passing on a business easier than ever. Take your business into the next generation. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH, video streaming live on YouTube and always, and I mean always, on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, we are in the middle of a great card, DeSharks. Dan in New Brighton, Gavin in Minneapolis, both of their guests on the poll of 100 people.
I mean, they're nailing it.
Has been within 5.
Less than that, yeah. It was like within 2.
Pretty cool. Gavin is in control. He has turned over 3 cards. We got an ace. We changed a 7 to a queen, and we just flipped a 9. You can freeze on the 9 if you would like, Gavin. We are playing for a $50 gift card at Jester Concepts. Jester Concepts has, over at Butcher and the Boar, they got Nice Bar. They got Burrow. They got PS Steak. Alyssa and I just had dinner at PS Steak last week. Lots of great restaurants for you to use this gift card and go give them some love and support this week as well. But, Gavin, you're on this 9. You can go for it. Don't have much to lose since you froze on the queen. Or you can freeze and try to win another question. What do you want to do?
I'm going to gamble and say lower than a 9.
All right. I'm nervous, Dan. Lower than a 9. It is an 8. It is lower than a 9.
Goodness.
And oh, boy.
By the hair of his...
Whatever.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I left that up to your imagination on purpose.
You can fill it in however you want. Gavin, you are 1 card away from winning $50 to Jester Concepts, but you're on an 8. Do you want to go higher, lower, or freeze on the 8?
Gosh, this is tough. I'll freeze.
All right. Whew.
I think that's a good call.
I think
that's what I would have done. Yeah.
I think it's a good call, too.
Yep.
It does make me... You know what? I'm a gambler. I've seen so many people win this game just by going for it. So
I mean, Dan could get on a run and just go all 5. You don't know.
All right, Gavin, you freeze, and that means Dan
gets the next question.
Dan gets the next question.
Yes.
So, Dan, we're hoping you get a chance to call some high-low here. So let's go. Dan, Dan Cook, the next question.
Next question, Jason. This goes to Dan. Dan, we asked 100 people, have you ever dreamed you were naked in public? Have you ever dreamed that you were naked in public? How many of the 100 people we asked said, yep, I've had that dream before?
It doesn't specify dream or nightmare. It doesn't say what your emotion about that is.
Depends on the individual, I would imagine.
Some real sickos out there for sure. Dan, do you remember your dreams, Dan?
Yes, some I do, yes.
Yeah. I always, when a dream wakes me up, I should have a notebook by my bed so I could write it down. Because some of this stuff I'm convinced would make great segments on the show.
It could be.
But then I go back to sleep and I don't know.
You ever had the bit where you wake up and then you fall back asleep and you're right back into the dream?
Yes. Very weird.
It's very weird.
Dan in New Brighton, what do you think? Have you ever had this dream, by the way? You were naked in public?
No, I have not.
Yeah. All right, so what do you think? How many people have had that dream out of 100?
Oh, I'll say 10.
Dan says 10. Gavin? Have you ever dreamed you were naked in public?
No, I have not.
Has your wife ever dreamed that you were naked in public?
I haven't asked, but maybe I should.
Maybe could be a,
or maybe you shouldn't.
Just could be could be a warmer upper tonight. I don't know.
Let that one go. I don't know.
You never know. It's none of my business. Well, I guess I'm asking.
You are asking. So,
Gavin, Dan said 10 people have had the naked in public dream. Do you think the actual number is higher or lower?
I think there's a lot of weirdos out there, so I'm going to say higher.
All right. Gavin says higher. Dan?
Jason, the actual number of people that said that, yes, they have dreamt that they were naked in public is 24.
Whoa, it is higher. It is higher. And so we've got a situation that Gavin was hoping for. Gavin, you are on an 8, and let me put that full. Boom. So here's that 8. One card to go. You can change the card. That was the point of the freezing, right? So what do you want to do?
Yeah, change that card, please.
All right, we're going to change the 8, and the 8 becomes a 6.
I mean, it's a little better.
A little better, but I don't know. You're on a 6. What do you want to do? Higher or lower for the win and the gift card, Gavin?
We'll go higher.
Higher than a 6. It is a 5. It's lower.
Oh.
Just one notch lower. Oh, my goodness. Dan in New Brighton, good news for you. You get a shot at the cards. Are you ready, Dan?
I am ready.
All right, your first card is a 7. You did not get the question, so you can't change it. So what do you say? Higher or lower than a 7?
Higher.
Higher than a 7. It is. Oh, it's a 4. It is lower. Man. And now we go to sudden death. One more question. And one more question is sudden death. We fill in. Let me fill in the cards. Here we go. All right. Dan, then this question goes to Gavin, and whoever wins the question will have a decision to make. So go ahead.
Gavin, we asked 100 priests. Have you ever thought seriously about leaving the priesthood?
Ooh.
100 priests. I was going to say, I assume Catholic, but it could be Anglican. You don't know.
Interesting.
Have you ever thought seriously about leaving the priesthood? How many of those 100 priests have said, yes, I have seriously thought about it?
Gavin, what number do you say?
We'll say 52.
52. Dan, higher or lower than 52 priests considered leaving the priesthood?
Lower.
Dan says lower. Dan Cook?
Jason, the actual number of priests that said that they had seriously thought about leaving the priesthood is 25.
25, way lower. And so, Dan in New Brighton, you have a decision to make.
Oof, does he ever?
You either play or pass. If you play, you can change this 7, but you have to run the table and flip all 4 cards. If you pass, Gavin only has to flip 1 card, but he's on a 6. So it's up to you. Do you want to play?
And
or
if Gavin doesn't get it right,
if he's wrong, you win.
Dan wins.
That's right. Anybody makes a misstep, their opponent wins. What do you say?
I'll pass on this.
All right. I think I would pass. I don't know. It's a tough one.
It's 1 card for all the marbles.
That's right. This is drama, Gavin. 1 card for all the marbles. You're on a 6. Higher or lower than the 6?
I can't get burned twice, so I'm going to try higher again.
Higher than a 6. It is a 7, and you got it. Oh, my gosh.
Talk about nearly getting burned.
Terrible cards. What great contestants. Dan in New Brighton, you were fantastic. Thank you for listening and for playing.
Thank you.
Gavin, you did it. $50 at Jester Concepts, and oh, my goodness. The cards were not friendly out here at Viking Lakes, I'll tell you that much. But
wasn't easy.
It wasn't easy.
No, he earned it.
Just like a true Viking. I mean, you persevered. Well, actually, like a true Viking.
I was going to say, no, it's nothing like a Viking, actually.
Maybe that's sort of how that goes. You get a $50 gift card at Jester Concepts. Congratulations.
All right, let's go.
Really fun. Great contestant. Great having you on, and we appreciate you. Stand by. Josh will get your info, and you can take your wife out to a nice dinner. Congratulations.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, pretty fun. There goes Gavin in Minneapolis. That's Card DeSharks, brought to you by Jester Concepts. And good stuff. Jonathan on the YouTube, though, says that was like a root canal. It took forever. That's sort of, I mean, I like the drama, though.
Way to be negative,
I
John.
like the
There
drama.
was a lot of drama. That was a great game.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. All right, that is Card DeSharks. When we come back, we are going to get back into some discussion about what has been making news in Minneapolis and around the world, because this weekend there is expectation that there will be more protests and more demonstrations. I want to talk about protests because I think the protests and the demonstrations that we have been seeing in the case of ICE in Minneapolis, I think they've been different. And I do think protesters have some responsibility in all of this. And normally I would say, no, protesters should do whatever they want. It's none of our business. I feel differently this time. I don't know how you feel. We'll welcome you into the conversation when we come back.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. No title, no problem. Call 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS or go online at carsforkids.org to donate today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real
Do
estate.
you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Mark?
I've been doing home remodeling for 30 plus years, but the economy crashed. I wound up losing my home, losing my job, and on top of that, owing the IRS a ton of money. I owed the IRS $114,000. It really, truly was the worst part of my life.
Then Mark found tax relief advocates.
On news radio, I heard about TRA, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen? So I picked up the phone and I called them. When it was all said and done, TRA settled my $114,000 debt for $100, and I'm telling you, I was ecstatic. Could not believe it. Would recommend TRA to anyone.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Mark did and call TRA for a consultation.
But TRA did. They gave me a second chance, and I'm forever grateful.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-491-9914. 800-491-9914. That's 800-491-9914.
Imagine placing an investment or trade without fear. Knowing that big institutions have taken the same trade as you, pushing the price higher, which only they can do. You get to ride the wave of institutional demand. If not, your plan will protect you from the downside. This is how our students are taught to invest in trade. Right now, you can sign up for a free investing class where we'll outline our strategy for following the smart money. Text investing to 210-210. We'll also review strategies for growing a retirement portfolio, how professionals profit when stocks are falling, and how to protect your investments against inflation. With a 25-year history, local classrooms, and one-on-one support, you're not alone. And now it's your turn. Sign up for a free investing class today. Text investing to 210-210 or go to learnwithota.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
If you are making your travel out to that ice festival, you might want to give yourself some adequate time to get there. Take your time, as we do have winter-like weather on the way. We have some crashes as well. 35W northbound, we have a crash near 46th Street and 36th Street. Again, we're watching that one. 52 northbound, another crash shows up near Eaton Street and Plato Boulevard in St. Paul. 61 northbound, crash near 4th Street and 127th in Hastings. And we do have a vehicle spin out as you make your drive 77 southbound between Palomino Drive and Dakota County Road. I'm Jim Hughes on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, CCO forecast time. The snow is falling. The temperatures are dropping as well. Here is Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
The snow moves out tonight, but the wind will stay noticeable right through the weekend. We'll drop back to 6 tonight, only a high of 10 tomorrow with a mostly cloudy sky. Some light snow passes by on Sunday. Most pick up less than an inch. That'll be our one warmer day with a high up around 16. We chill into next week.
Right now in Eagan, it is 16 degrees. The wind is really the main story tonight, as it is blowing right now at about 15 miles an hour, gusting up to 30. Feels like it's 3 below on CCO.
Jason DeRusha.
You are hitting on all cylinders today.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Normally, I think protest is irritating to those of us who are not protesting types. And normally, I think your complaints are stupid. America is built on protest. People raising their voices, blocking traffic, being a problem is part of America. And most complaints that focus on protest, to me, are people who are refusing to engage on the real issue. And so you're embarrassed by the policy that is being protested. And so rather than engaging on that, you say like, well, but these protesters are blocking traffic and that's against the law and we shouldn't be able to do that. This time I feel differently. I do feel differently. 651-461-9226. There is debate in the activist and the protest world right now about what the right response is at this moment. Because in my view, the protests, and I'm speaking broadly because there are some protests, like, for example, what happened in Powderhorn Park last Saturday, that protest was fantastic. Raise your voices. I was in St. Paul the other day and encountered a march going down the street from the west side of St. Paul. I'm sorry, it was the east side. It was from like the Payne Avenue area marching down towards downtown. Fantastic. The main approach with ICE is beyond citizens who are just upset, but it's also short of the BS, like these are paid agitators nonsense that you get from the White House. What it is people who have trained for this moment. And I do think there should be some responsibility in what is happening in our community for these activist groups who have trained people with the intention of interfering with ICE. The stated intention of the protest activity that we're seeing in the Twin Cities right now is to slow down ICE, to interfere with federal law enforcement. And to me, even though following an officer around, I do not think you should be arresting people for following an ICE agent. It is legal to be annoying. It is legal to be obnoxious. But interfering is not legal. And the stated purpose of these protests is to interfere. And I think it's worth asking if the actions of the activists are making things worse. And I will confess that I feel very conflicted about answering that question because the videos that people have been getting have told the story better than any activist could, better than any expert could. The videos have shown ICE agents just using brutal tactics. It is, now this isn't everything. But, like, sorry, if your operation every day is producing new videos of American citizens being detained without probable cause, without a warrant, the whole thing loses its credibility. There's no trust. And when you don't trust the same people that we empower, they work for America. When you don't have that trust, then the whole thing sort of falls apart, right? And also, I think the protests are making it worse. I think the protesters are making it worse. Dan, I want to give you a chance to weigh in on this, and I want listeners to chime in too. And I want you to know that for me to say that is not, it's a leap. It's not my normal approach. I'm not one of these, like, blame the protesters. It's just not my normal go-to. So I hesitate to do it, but I also want to call it like I see it. And I do think most of the banging on the drums outside the ICE agents' hotel rooms, the following people, couple of cars following one agent, I'm sort of mixed on the whistle bit. I think it's making it worse.
I understand that. I mean, I disagree. I just draw the line in a different spot, I guess, because it's a difficult and it can be nuanced, and it's not as easy as a lot of people on social media that think they're really tough want to make it. I have no problem if you want to follow officers as long as you keep a respectful distance and you're videoing, but you're not actually impeding their ability to do their job. If you want to do that, you can do that. I also think that if they decide they're going to put you in handcuffs, that's, it's not, I wouldn't call it legal by any stretch of the imagination, but
right.
Where I draw the line is then when you start violently resisting, right? If you're going to put yourself in that position, and we talked about this in the past, civil disobedience requires you then to be accepting of arrest. When you start fighting, when you start launching fireworks at law enforcement, or you start throwing rocks, or we see all that kind of stuff, when you start acting violently, you lose any and all moral advantage that you might have had. Whatever moral high ground you had is gone when you start acting violently. Stand up. You want to be in their way. If you want to block, somebody in the street, you can do that, but you're going to get arrested, and you need to not resist that arrest. That's where I draw the line. That kind of stuff, when you start doing that, you give, like as the politicians around here kept saying, you give the president and his people exactly what they want. Exactly the pretext that they want to react with even more violence, with even more brutal tactics. So that's where I draw the line. Stand up for your neighbors, love your people around you. I got no problem with any of that. But as soon as you start physically accosting law enforcement, that's where I draw the line.
651-461-9226. I want to be clear that, we know where the blame for this lies, this chaos in our community, and I've been calling it out since day one. So don't give me the the real blame is on Donald Trump and now you're blaming the protesters. No, I'm saying in a responsible society, we all have to take ownership of our side of this. And I think if you want to have a protest and you want to gather, you want to march through the streets like we saw early on last week, I think that is fine also. That's great. And I don't even get worked up about people blocking traffic while this is going on. I do get worked up if the whole purpose of your quote-unquote protest is to slow down law enforcement. Is that a protest? Really? Or are we just calling it a protest? I'm not sure that it's a protest. The purpose is to slow it down. I think the right thing to do is to protest, yes, but to protest, not to be tracking these guys through their neighborhoods.
Yeah, I wouldn't call that protesting.
Is that a protest?
No, I wouldn't call it protesting.
Really.
I would call that civil disobedience. And I think that's perfectly, again, that's a part of our history. Civil rights in this country were built on the back of civil disobedience. But civil disobedience means nonviolent passive resistance. And that's where the line gets crossed too easily, in my view.
Yeah. I think the question is, if you're willing to accept that, are you willing to accept mass arrest of American citizens who are, blocking traffic? And how do you define what is blocking in and what is impeding? What is the difference between interfering and being 10 feet from an ICE agent in their face? Let's go to Paul in Bloomington. Paul, thanks for calling CCO. What do you think about all this?
I think the protesters are doing a horrible job. They make it worse. Think of it like a union. When a union has an issue, they stand out and they picket, right? How do they do that? They stand on a corner and they put their signs up and ask for support. But when a protest is standing in front of an officer trying, like when they push the line back and there's the people that are still behind them, they're interfering 100%. Try doing your job with a whistle going off in your ear. And throwing snowballs, that's not a protest. That's, assault against an officer. I don't care what you are. When you punch a vehicle, that is assault against a person. I mean, can I punch your car because I don't agree with you? Can I kick it? That's riot. If you want to stand up, do it right and stand on the curb. Don't interfere with basic life and or people doing their job.
I think the part of the challenge is, as a society, are we okay with the state patrol or the county sheriff or the local police going out and then enforcing this stuff? Like, I don't think we have the manpower to do that exactly. So I do look at
is it against the law to throw a snowball at a vehicle?
Yes.
Okay, so would you like someone to throw an ice chunk or a snowball at your vehicle?
No.
Okay, you would like them to be in trouble for that, correct?
Sure, but we have 600 cops in Minneapolis. Like, let's be real. If your car gets stolen, you might not get an officer that shows up to take the report. Like, there's all sorts of crime that we don't have personnel to go out and enforce and make an arrest. It's just the reality.
Well, that's because of the politics of this state. Other places do not have a problem with getting police officers.
Yeah.
This city does. Why?
Well,
because of the politics. I mean, that mayor should be standing behind and saying, officers, help these people, because they are literally pulling bad people off of the street. Maybe some others, but they're all here illegally.
And that's the problem. The problem, Paul, is that, like, thank you. To me, I'm not okay with the collateral damage of, like, well, we pulled some people off.
And it's not
like, that's where, to me, it's like,
not maybe some others.
No,
it's very, very clearly they're going around and grabbing anybody with brown skin and asking for ID and accosting. I mean,
local police
our
local police would never do this stuff. They would never do it. State Patrol would never do what we're seeing happen. So that's just a no. Let's go to Jeff in Sauk Rapids. Jeff, you're on CCO.
Hey.
Go ahead, Jeff.
You know where I'm at. Veteran, former cop. I believe strongly in the Constitution. And I cannot tolerate the unconstitutional behavior of federal law enforcement officials. They're officials. They got badges. They got licenses. But this unconstitutional behavior is out of line.
For sure.
You
totally
can't
agree.
do it. And when it comes to the Constitution, citizen rights prevail. They win. That's that. If you don't like it, too bad you put up with it. But don't break. You're supposed to be the good guys. Don't break the law. Don't break the Constitution. Period. I grew up in a family where I was the big brother, and I was the one that was supposed to keep my head on straight, right?
Right. Yeah. They're the big brother in this scenario, for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
if they're supposed to behave, and if the citizens misbehave, well, you deal with it accordingly. You don't have to like it, but that's your damn job.
Thanks, Jeff. Yeah. You talk about being the good guys, right? If you think that ICE has the moral high ground here, then they need to act like it. They need to do better. And if you think the protesters have the moral high ground, then they need to act like it, and they need to do better.
Texter says, I think in normal times they would agree with me, but this is Trump's America, and it's a different game. If we turn it down, he'll turn it up. React to that, 651-461-9226. Drive Time back in just a minute.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
We would love to see you join us out here in Eagan at Viking Lakes, the Winter SKOLStice. Winter SKOLStice is in effect right now. It's Jason, Dan. We are live at Viking Lakes in Eagan. It is where the Aurora play, where the Minnesota Vikings play, and this weekend for the next 10 days, it's going to be where you play. 8,000 square foot ice walk, Instagram opportunities, photo ops, beautifully illuminated, 14 Nordic-themed ice sculptures. You got to have ice sculptures at the Winter SKOLStice. And we've got lumberjack shows. And we've got an ice skating sheet with ice skates you can rent for just $5 a pair. This is affordable family fun. There will be live music, food trucks. There's a speakeasy as well. Come bring your family to Viking Lakes. It's a gorgeous campus here in Eagan. $13 on the weekends, just $8 on weeknights. Open on Martin Luther King Day. Open tonight. Let's go. WinterSKOLStice.com has all the information. You can buy your tickets in advance or just come join us in Eagan at the Vikings Lake Ice Festival.
I hated listening to news talk radio. It's so dry and boring. Then I tried WCCO.
Not everyone plans to fall in love with listening. But then again, not everyone's heard WCCO.
I thought it was going to be all angry yelling and call-in rants. Turns out, it's my favorite thing to check in on throughout the day.
It wasn't what I expected, but it was exactly what I needed.
Didn't think I'd be into it, but yet here I am, talking back to my radio like it's a group chat.
You're here. Now tell your friends. They'll thank you later. News Talk 830 WCCO.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy plates, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Paramount Plus is the new home of UFC, and we're coming out swinging with UFC 324.
Oh, what a shot!
And 325 on back-to-back weekends. The new era is here.
It's time!
Every fight.
Bam! Let's go.
One subscription.
Oh my goodness!
Pay-per-view just got knocked out.
Let's go.
Back-to-back blockbuster UFC events this month. Only on Paramount Plus.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Your drive might be slowed down just a tad as you make that drive out to that Viking Lakes Ice Festival today as they are broadcasting live. We do have a few problems as you make that drive right now. 52 northbound, a crash between Eaton Street and Plato Boulevard. Still watching that crash. Northbound 61, you have a crash near 4th Street and 127th. 13 on the southbound side, another crash in front of you there at 136th Street and Conley Parkway. I'm Jim Hughes on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Forecast is cold. It's cold. The snow will wind down tonight. Not too much snow, but tomorrow is just cold. It'll feel like it's below zero all weekend long. Sunday, a little more light snow, maybe an inch of snow. High is 16, but that wind, again, 10 to 20 miles an hour. Right now in Eagan, it is 15 on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Lots of texts coming in talking about protests. Texters say the training I participated in consisted of how to be a peaceful observer.
Yep.
Yes, it included whistleblowing if you choose, but that is an individual choice. When you have a kid with brown skin who has watched fellow brown citizens be swept up and beaten, if ICE is approaching him, I hope to God someone blows a whistle. The whistle thing is interesting because I will say, I do think, again, I'm conflicted about the fact that this civil disobedience is designed to slow down law enforcement. And part of me thinks, you're not going to slow them down. B, we should change the laws and work at it that way. But then last night I was talking to Gustavo Romero, who owns Nixta at his restaurant Oro, and he said to him it feels like it's his neighbors saying they love it. And you also heard it at your apartment building. It is a way to let people know sort of what's going on.
Well, I didn't hear the whistles. I heard people yelling at ice as they were coming through. And we had a caller earlier in the show, too, by the way. I don't know that we have time to run it now, but we do have that audio from Israel. You'll recall back in that first hour. We should run that maybe as part of the lead.
That's a good idea.
And play back, because that was a powerful call. He talked about just the fear that he's experiencing.
Yeah, it is. Another texter saying a part of protesting is getting arrested sometimes.
Yeah.
You and I have talked about this a lot. Like, there is sort of this idea that it's outrageous if a protester gets arrested.
That's where
which is sort of stupid.
We've sort of lost, the idea of how civil disobedience actually works. Part of that is at times getting arrested, and that needs to be part of it. You can't resist that. You can't run from that. You create all kinds more problems when you start getting physical in that situation.
But another texter pointing out that the protesters in the 763ers view has taken it too far. With the current administration we have, they want the craziness. They want the mayhem. And that is interesting. And that's why within even the protest sort of activist community, there's debate over what is the right tactic, because are you giving Trump what he wants? So if you have more noise, more anger, are you maybe hurting your own cause? Worth thinking about for sure. CBS News in the lead coming up from Egan.
Jim.
Yes, Laura.
Why are you wearing a cowled robe and carrying a pot of herbs?
I'm getting ready for Borofka's Happy January event.
Okay.
Druids celebrated this time of year with month-long festivals, so our Happy January event runs through January 31st.
I will not permit any goat sacrifices in the parking lot.
With Borofka's January event, there are 3 great ways to save. Free metro delivery with the purchase of a furniture protection plan. Free removal of up to 3 of your old pieces, and free no down payment, no interest financing for 12, 18, or even 24 months.
That's almost $750 in savings. Happy January.
Now, help me finish the Borofka henge before dark.
Oh, Jim. Borofka's, no gimmicks, haggling, or hard to understand pricing.
In Minnetonka, Woodbury, and Burnsville. Decidedly.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take DayQuil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the DayQuil.
Undo your flu symptoms with DayQuil Intense Flu. DayQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
DayQuil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Comprehensive coverage. Consequential context. News Talk 830 WCCO. KMNB HD2 Minneapolis, St. Paul. Always streaming on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. Iranian activists say the death toll as a result of a crackdown on protesters tops 3,000 as the U.S. moves a carrier strike group into the region. The USS Abraham Lincoln Aircraft Carrier Strike Group has begun to move west from the Indo-Pacific towards the Middle East, according to a source familiar, and satellite imagery confirmed by CBS News. As CBS's Charlie D'Agata reports,
what this does is it gives the United States and President Trump, should it come to that, options. Because if there are going to be attacks, there's going to be retaliation. And it's been said that nothing gets the attention of the Iranians more than an aircraft carrier.
There is currently no air carrier strike group in the Middle East. Also, the European Union is advising airlines to avoid Iranian airspace. Closer to the U.S., the Federal Aviation Administration has warned of military activities over Mexico and Central America, warning airlines to exercise caution due to a potentially hazardous situation, citing the chance for interference to the global navigation satellite system. Two U.S. officials tell CBS Minnesota that Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry are under federal investigation for allegedly obstructing law enforcement activities. The investigation comes after new details are released on the January 7th fatal shooting of Renee Good in South Minneapolis by ICE officer Jonathan Ross. The report says Good had at least 3 gunshot wounds on her chest, her left arm, and a possible one on her head. Daily protests have followed that shooting, and this weekend is expected to bring larger protests and a rally in support of ICE. Bob Jacobson is commissioner of the Department of Public Safety.
Again, call on those who may decide to attend any demonstrations or gatherings in the city of Minneapolis or anywhere. Please remain calm, be peaceful, exercise your right to voice your opinions, but avoid confrontations, violence, or any property damage.
The Supreme Court agrees to hear an appeal from the maker of Roundup weed killer. Bayer, the manufacturer, seeks to block thousands of lawsuits that allege it failed to provide a warning that a key ingredient in Roundup could cause cancer. The EPA had approved Roundup without a cancer warning. Loyola Law School professor Lori Levinson.
Roundup weed killer made by Monsanto claims that, in fact, that they did not do anything wrong because the EPA approved the Roundup weed killer without a cancer warning. And therefore, the federal action preempts any state lawsuits.
President Trump plans to pardon former Puerto Rico Governor Wanda Vasquez in a campaign finance case. That, according to a White House official who spoke on condition of anonymity. This is CBS News.
Follow and listen to CBS News Roundup on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Minnesota's trusted voice every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Windy with light snow down to 12 degrees at 5:03. I'm Laura Oakes. Law enforcement agencies in the Twin Cities will be keeping an eye on a number of protests planned this weekend. Several reports online indicate far-right groups will meet in downtown Minneapolis and march into Cedar Riverside tomorrow. Minnesota Department of Public Safety Commissioner Bob Jacobson.
What I would recommend and suggest that if people are concerned for safety, to make sure and locate a police officer that may be available and needed, but we should have plenty of people that are out there. Some will be visible, some will not, but we are prepared to address any safety issues that may come up.
As was the case last weekend, Jacobson says the Minnesota National Guard is staged in a way where they can respond quickly if needed. 28 Democratic members of Congress came to town today for a field hearing on the actions of ICE agents in Minnesota. Representative Pramila Jayapal.
What is happening in Minnesota is a pattern that is dangerous to every single person in America. Because if they can erode the rights of some, they can do it to you. No one is safe.
Meanwhile, President Trump today saying he doesn't think there's any reason right now to use the Insurrection Act, which would allow him to send military troops to the state. But he says if he needed it, he would use it. This is Minnesota Governor Tim Walz's office says the governor is engaged in an ongoing conversation with the White House. A 33-year-old Minneapolis man now charged in federal court with stealing a gun from an FBI vehicle. Prosecutors say Raul Gutierrez took the rifle Wednesday night after an ICE agent shot a man in the leg in North Minneapolis. The U.S. Attorney's Office says Gutierrez is a gang member and prior convicted felon. The upcoming Lunar New Year celebration at Minneapolis's Midtown Global Market is the latest large event to cancel plans amid the unrest in the city. It follows yesterday's announcement from Red Bull that they have called off the annual heavy metal street snowboarding competition in St. Paul. That was to have started tomorrow. And the Minneapolis Park Board has canceled all youth athletic games and practices today through Sunday. Last weekend, comedian John Mulaney pulled out of 3 shows planned for the Armory in downtown Minneapolis. Despite all of this, Minneapolis city leaders are encouraging folks to support local businesses and restaurants during this difficult time.
We know there's a lot going on in Minneapolis right now. There's understandable fear, uncertainty, and the ringing of rallying voices. But know this, the city is still in business. We are a dynamic city full of energy and love for each other and for anyone who visits.
That is a video from the city's Director of Community Planning and Economic Development, Eric Hansen. WCCO News Time is 5:06.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
You might be slowed down if you are headed out to that Winter SKOLStice out near the Viking and the Ice Festival. Again, that's going on. They're broadcasting live. We do have a few problems as you make that drive. Just make sure to take your time getting there. 13 southbound, we have a crash near 136th Street and Conley Parkway. 394 eastbound, another crash that's in front of your drive there on Lake Street and Penn Avenue. And 494 northbound near Minnetonka, you have a crash near Baker Road. Again, give yourself adequate time. I'm Jim Hughes on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
And with that, here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
The bands of light snow will move out tonight. The one constant, the wind. Coming from the northwest, 10 to 15, will drop back to 6. Clearly, it feels below 0 because of that wind. Mostly cloudy tomorrow with a high of 10. Light snow possible again on Sunday with a high of 16. That snow generally under an inch.
Windy with light snow right now down to 12 degrees at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Breaking news may have brought you here, but it's our depth that keeps you here. News Talk 830 WCCO. He knows news. He knows talk. He knows nonsense, too. So get ready for a lot of each. This is Drive Time with DeRUSH. Once again, here's Jason DeRUSH.
All right, it's Friday. Feels good. We are live in Eagan. Dan and I have our winter coats on because we are at the Winter SKOLStice. It is live on location in Eagan, part of the Viking Lakes Ice Festival. Pretty cool stuff. Very cool stuff, in fact, if we got our coats on.
Downright chilly stuff.
It is good stuff out here. I just posted a video in my Instagram story of the 8,000 square foot ice walk. I don't know why they don't want to call it an ice maze. It's a freaking maze. Like, I don't know.
You got to walk through it. I mean, it's
you got to walk through it. It's not like designed to get you lost. And last year they had a ginormous maze out here. This year it's more of a photo op type situation.
We've got the skating rink right behind us. People are out there taking advantage of that.
The snow is lightly falling. The wind is aggressively blowing. But we have the clothes for this. The question is, do you have the guts? Do you have the guts for it? Minnesotans love to brag about how tough we are in the winter weather. Yeah. It keeps the riffraff out. Well, does it? Does it?
I don't know. We're here. Do we qualify as riffraff?
Questionable.
It's a fair question.
Very questionable.
Ponder.
So pretty fun out here at Eagan today. We, of course, are keeping an eye. Look, it is the weekend. It is time to, as we heard in the news, there certainly is an expectation that there will be protests this weekend about ice activity in the Twin Cities. What we certainly don't need are like outside kind of activists coming in. But I think a lot of us have been wondering, and by that I'm talking about the right wing sort of.
I mean, any wing. I mean, you don't need a bunch of people.
Well,
coming
yes, but like there is this announced thing
yes.
where it's like touring the Somali neighbor. Like,
right.
Come on. Go do your racism in your own town.
Right.
Like, we do not need that here. Lots of news, and there are developments still over within the last couple of minutes. So why don't we bring you up to date on everything we're keeping an eye on? We call it the DeRUSH Hour News Headlines.
The headlines you might have missed without missing a beat. This is your fast pass through the biggest and most impactful stories of the day. Welcome to the DeRUSH Hour Headlines, starting with the lead.
So let's give you an image of two different stories playing out. Because the headline in the Minnesota Star-Tribune is that the president softens his threat to invoke the Insurrection Act and send troops into the Twin Cities and into Minnesota. The day started with that vibe, which felt like good news, and then what the president said was, I don't think there's any reason right now to use it. If I needed it, I'd use it. Just like an angry parent at their children.
I'll turn this car around.
That is absolutely what this is. Today, Democrats in Congress came to St. Paul to talk about the tactics of ICE. They held a hearing. Although, what kind of hearing is it when you get a bunch of Democrats who agree with each other in the same room?
It's political theater.
So all of that happening, but to me, hearing that, hey, this sounds optimistic. The president is saying, you know what, that Insurrection Act thing, like it is really just a threat. I don't mean to do it. And then word came that the governor's office, Tim Walz, who has not made a bunch of public statements over the last couple days, which I do think is a positive development. But late this morning, news came that the governor's office said they are engaged in ongoing conversation with the White House. All right.
Took a little longer than maybe it should have, but okay.
So we are hopeful that ongoing conversation will continue through the weekend and perhaps progress will be made. I know there are some of you who are saying, what is there to talk about? How do you acquiesce to President Trump in these tactics? But the reality is Donald Trump is the president for the next 3 years. And if you run Minnesota, you got to figure out how to work with it. And are there things that can be negotiated? I think there are. Rules of engagement, areas where ICE agents could stay away from. And is there room, not for the state, because the state of Minnesota does cooperate with these Department of Human Services, Immigration Services requests to hold inmates. If you are an inmate in a state prison, the state does cooperate with immigration authorities. But right now, the counties do not. And while many activists are saying, oh, Jacob Fry, you're standing in the way of this, it is Hennepin County that runs the jail. It is Ramsey County that runs the jail. It is most counties in the state that have their own policies. Could the state have a state policy that forces them to action? Perhaps. All I'm saying is, without saying what I think the right resolution should be, there are things to be talked about. There are things that could be discussed in negotiations, but none of it's going to work in public.
And no thanks to, folks like Senator Smith, who was on yesterday with Vanita, saying, well, why we would even bother trying to reach out to the president. He's not going to listen to us. Well, you don't know unless you actually start talking to people.
And what we're doing,
for heaven's sakes, he's texting with Mom Donnie. He'll talk to people.
Yeah. And what we're doing now isn't working. I mean, let's be real about that as well. Do you want progress? Do you want this to stop? Yelling at them to leave, they're not going to say, oh, I didn't think of that. We're going to pack it up. But then news like this comes that makes you say, well, are we getting anywhere? CBS News reporting within the last couple of minutes that now the Department of Justice is investigating Minnesota officials, including the governor, including Minneapolis's mayor, over an alleged conspiracy to impede federal immigration agents. And what an absolute load of crap that is.
Yeah.
At some point in America, we have to decide that, every time we disagree with someone does not mean that we launch an investigation and try to file charges. Unbelievable. So this is a CBS News report, and they call it an extraordinary escalation in the Trump administration's clash with Democrat leaders. One of the sources says the investigation stems from statements that Walz and Fry have made. Give me a freaking break. Just when you want to give the benefit of the doubt and say, hey, I do think, maybe protesters, there are things they could have done better, and maybe our leaders could have had a better posture in this and have been more aggressive in trying to get things done instead of trying to win political points. And then you have the DOJ investigating them for things they said. Grow up. Embarrassing. Our federal government's embarrassing. Look how easily I can turn on you.
On a dime.
Just ridiculous. All right, other things we're keeping an eye on in the DeRUSH Hour lead. Ramsey County is preparing in an unfortunate but smart, really, way of getting ready in case something should happen. Ramsey County has developed a plan of what they would do in order to investigate any sort of shooting that might happen with a federal agent. So the county attorney, John Choi, according to the Twin Cities Pioneer Press, saying we cannot assume that cooperation is the standard anymore. No kidding, right? When you see the federal government cut out the State Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, it does make you say, all right, what are we going to do if something else should happen? And so John Choi and Bob Fletcher, the sheriff from Ramsey County, say that they are figuring it out. And Choi asked the BCA to send them in whenever there is a shooting in Ramsey County. It is a standing request. And that is not always a standing request with other counties. So Ramsey County, at least making plans. Hopefully they never need it, but they are making plans. Ag industry leaders are saying, and we're hearing more and more business leaders say that this crackdown in Minnesota is having an impact on their business. No. That's right. It's not what you want to hear. This story from the Fargo Forum and agweek.com. Noah Fish reporting that Minnesota farm leaders are reporting that increased activity around the state is disrupting rural economies and creating widespread fear among farm workers and food industry employees. This is more than immigration policy, and people correctly are having a debate about immigration in America, the right way to enforce it, the right way to do things. But there also is reality, and the reality on the ground right now is every business leader I'm talking to, no matter what their political beliefs may be, they are all saying, like, this is messing with business. This is negatively impacting commerce. And we'll see if those voices start speaking out maybe more aggressively over the next couple of days because, you know, I think you can understand in the environment today, there's not huge incentive for people to step up and speak out, and so they are not. One more item that I want to share with you before we go in depth, and that is something a lot of us need, a lot of us want. We want to be happier. And according to CNET, if you want to be happier in 2026, there are 8 foods that you can start eating. That's right, Weird Al. 8 foods that can give you a boost to your serotonin. I mean, Dan, I know what you're hoping. What foods would you like to see on this list? Dan Cook, 8 foods that would improve your moods.
Well, the first 4 would be pizza.
Uh-huh.
Followed by chicken tenders.
Yep.
And a nice juicy hamburger.
Where are you on mushrooms?
I don't eat fungus.
Packed with vitamin D. Linked to antidepressant qualities. Maybe that would make you happier.
Nope.
What about fermented foods like sauerkraut?
Oh, gosh, no.
Kimchi? Kombucha?
No.
Yogurt? I start every day with a little Greek yogurt. That's why I'm in such a good mood all the time.
Glad that works for you.
My gut bacteria are just having a party.
I don't really need to know about your gut bacteria. Thanks
Berries? Where are you on berries?
Mostly out.
Blueberry?
No.
Straw?
Nope.
Raz?
Nope.
Boysen?
Nope.
Fruit and vegetable intake highly associated with improved mental health. That's sort of a bogus answer.
Going to be a problem.
Let's be honest. Yeah. Avocado? The millennials were onto something with the Avo toast. It is packed with nutrients, including choline. Choline. Man, what was that a Dolly Parton song?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Choline, 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 choline. Also on the list, coffee. And I'll tell you right now.
Sure. Without question.
Right now, I am enjoying a delicious coffee right here at Viking Lakes in Eagan. And Dan, you can verify
Oh, yeah.
That's only coffee.
Yeah.
There is nothing else in there.
Oh, that's lovely.
That is the DeRUSH Hour News Headlines. In just a minute, in depth, what is going on with the real estate market? Have you been trying to sell a house? There is an unbelievable drop in new home sales for December, something that got all of our attention, mine too. We'll go in depth about what to expect going forward and what you might do about it next.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Man, you know what would be good right about now? Maybe a pork chop. Oh, maybe a pork tenderloin. Oh, baby, it's Jason here for the Minnesota Pork Board. It is the weekend. It is time to spend a little time in the kitchen. And it is time to spend some time at your grocery store, your butcher shop, where I invite you to put flavor on the table. Taste what pork can do. Minnesota Pork, 3,000 family farmers every corner of the state. These farmers are the bedrock of our economy. So good. So good. And we want you to enjoy delicious, lean, high-protein, fabulous Minnesota pork. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Is right. If you go to tastewhatporkcando.com, there's a great recipe search tool. So you can go in and find something good. Let's filter the recipes right now. Let's do it by, how about pork shoulder? You got a little extra time this weekend? You're making pulled pork sandwich with Carolina slaw. How about this always in the freezer pulled pork recipe? It takes 6 hours, but what else are you going to do in this weather? Chili rub, slow cooker pulled pork, and carnitas tacos. All of those recipes available for you at tastewhatporkcando.com. Get to the website, get to the grocery store, support your family farmer, and let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight.
Mike Rowe here with a random fact. More than half of the homes that have basements in North America will experience water damage. It's true. Whether it's basement moisture, flooding, or bowing walls, do yourself a favor, call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys. They're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Innovative Basement Authority is now Groundworks. Schedule a free inspection.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Jordana here. Resolution or not, if you haven't made a plan yet, I'm talking about a life plan, an estate plan, a plan for, your stuff. I know you don't like to think about what might happen if something happened to you, if you became incapacitated or even worse. But you know what? You got to do it. If you don't have that will or living trust or a power of attorney or a healthcare directive, consider this your swift kick in the pants to get it done. And when it comes to estate planning, I recommend my dear friend, Matt Gutman. Matt has helped me so many times. I'm talking medical powers of attorney, plans for the kids when they go off to college, and his full estate plan for me and for Mark. He's done it for my family. He can do it for you too. He and his partner, Jamie Reff Wagner, will do an incredible job for you, and you will be happy it's done. Call Gutman Law today, 612-895-1616. GutmanLaw.com, 612-895-1616. GutmanLaw.com. Peace of mind today for tomorrow.
Honey, that flu keeping you up? Did you take NyQuil Intense Flu?
Nah, I got this. Okay, I don't got this.
Yeah, you need NyQuil Intense Flu.
Undo your flu with NyQuil Intense Flu. NyQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms so you can sleep.
You do got this.
NyQuil Intense Flu. The nighttime sniffling, aching fever. Best sleep with the flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
At Straight Talk, we get it. You say no a lot.
Mom, can I get a tarantula?
No.
Coffee?
No.
So we're giving you more reasons to say yes, like a free 5G phone with real unlimited data with select plan activation.
Can I use the free phone?
Yes.
See? Doesn't it feel good to say yes to more?
Absolutely.
Face tattoo?
Absolutely not.
Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Taxes and fees apply. In-store activation of Gold Unlimited plan or higher required. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
What's your kind of general reaction to it? Meh. Like it was such a bad, but not bad. It was really like strange.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
DeRUSH DeRUSH Hour News Headlines, going in depth now on the real estate market in the Twin Cities. I think you all sort of have a vibe check as to how real estate is going, but we have some new information about the end of 2025. And even with mortgage rates getting better, the home buying activity has been really slow. So I wanted to visit with my friend Chris Lindahl, who is with us right now. And Chris, this data on the decline in home buying, you're not surprised. You felt this out there, but what's your take on it?
Yeah, that's right, Jace. Thanks for having me on. I think a lot of people sort of knew that this was happening, but anytime you see headlines or reports or data or statistics that come out, I mean, that's lagging information that, there's a lot of leading indicators that we've seen for a while. You and I have talked about in the past, and I think a lot of homeowners are seeing this too, which is there are a lot of yard signs and yards that are staying there longer, and open house signs, and houses aren't moving, or they're sort of going kind of slightly off the market into pending, but then they're falling apart and going back to active. And I mean, the reality is that I think a lot of people for a long time thought that interest rates, lower interest rates were going to drive more home sales. But the reality is that with inflation and the jobs reports coming back not that favorable, and all the things that are going on, there are so many other things that are happening in the world that are making it really challenging to afford housing.
Frustrating, right? It's frustrating if you're a seller, buyer. I suppose if you're a potential buyer, you have a little bit of an edge here, right?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, home buyers definitely have an advantage as this market has shifted and cooled down. I would also say that home sellers that decide to go on the open market, meaning they put it on the market, they're doing traditional showings, they're really exposed in this type of market. And there's a couple of things I want to share today with all of the listeners that they may or may not be thinking about if they decide to go more on the open market direction, or maybe they're already experiencing this, and that is that buyers are being way more aggressive with inspection requests because they see higher days on market, they see a house not really selling, they don't see a lot of demand for it, they might be the only demand for it, and they know that they have the upper hand, and they're negotiating and asking for a laundry list of requests. And I would tell you that even the buyer agents in the market are starting to understand this, and they're getting really aggressive with sellers and seller agents on the open market. And it's frustrating sellers to a level that we haven't seen in a very long time. I think the question is, and I think a lot of people are wanting this too, is like, what does the future look like? And until you start to get better in inflation data and jobs data, and you see people making more money, you need to start seeing debt go down and savings to go up. There's just a lot of factors in this that are a long ways away from being corrected before we see a stronger market.
St. Paul Area Association of Realtors look at the whole 16-county metro area, so this is everywhere, but a 10% annual decline in the number of signed purchase agreements. What surprised me, Chris, is when you look at the breakdown by price range, there's sort of this myth out there that if you've got a low-cost house, a lower-priced house, that it's going to sell fast. But the declines in the $200,000 to $400,000 range are just as bad or worse than the declines in the $800,000 and above price ranges.
That's right, and that really supports what I was sharing earlier around just the economy and the job uncertainty and
interesting.
The cost of,
yeah.
Pretty much everything is more expensive, and income isn't going up at that same level, which is a lot of the things that I've been talking about for a long time. And say, hey, we don't have a mortgage rate problem. Like we have affordability. The cost of living is just too high. And now we're starting to see that hit the open market in real estate pretty heavy.
Yeah, I think the question, as we talk with Chris Lindahl about this pretty significant drop in home buying action at the end of the year, is this something that can turn around? And you said everybody wants to know what the future is going to be. Who knows? But is this a blip, or are we in a significant downturn or a significant dip?
Well, I think most people, if you're considering selling a house, or you're sort of deciding what you're going to do with your home in the future, I think a lot of people are faced with a lot of decisions. And the reality is, like you had said, I don't think any of us know exactly what it's going to look like. A lot of these indicators, these big indicators, they don't look great, and some of them are getting, drastically worse. And so I think if someone's considering, should I put my home on the market? Should I not? What does the future look like? I think you just have to accept that there's a higher level of risk in gamble in doing that today than there's been in a long time. I think a lot of homeowners for a long time, I would even say the past couple of years, thought, put your house on the open market, put it on the MLS, and you're going to get offers and you're going to accept offers right away. Those days are over. So if you're making this commitment, you're making a long-term commitment. You're going to probably have to do several price reductions and a lot of open houses. There's going to be some inconvenience. You might have your transaction fall apart to a buyer that loses their job or no longer can afford their mortgage. I mean, there's this. I would say that we're just in such a shifting market that has really shifted. If you're going on the open market, has shifted more in the favor of the buyer.
Chris Lindahl, appreciate it. Really good insight, and thank you for spending some time with us today.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jason.
Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Wesley Financial.
Hyundai is going to use robots to help build its vehicles. The South Korean company unveiled the Atlas robot, developed by Hyundai-owned Boston Dynamics, which it says is designed to handle hazardous and repetitive tasks in manufacturing and other settings. Hyundai says it plans to start producing 30,000 Atlas robots a year in 2028, when the robot will be first deployed to the company's factory in Alabama. I'm Jason Brooks.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-959-3388. That's 800-959-3388.
Some things are easier said than done, like packing your carry-on and getting everything to fit. Whew. Other things are easier done than said, like getting $500 cash back when you open a new TrueStone checking account, so you can bag back some cash back to stash in your backpack. Hard to say, but easy to do, because our digital switch kit makes setting up your new TrueStone checking account practically effortless. Easy and $500? It's true, because we're TrueStone. Open by December 31st, and within 60 days, set up a $5,000 direct deposit and e-statements. Membership required.
Minnesota, are you ready to break the winter boredom? It's time for the St. Paul RV Super Show, today through Sunday at the St. Paul River Center. Step inside, feel the excitement, all the newest RV innovations, top sports show vendors, and hands-on RV maintenance seminars. And for the kids, we've got live trout fishing, games and giveaways, a whole adventure waiting for them. It's the perfect midwinter getaway, and admission is totally free. So shake off the cold, fire up those travel dreams, and discover the camper you've always wanted. Today through Sunday at the St. Paul RV Super Show, St. Paul River Center.
Jordana here for my friends at Mini Leaf. Hear what they're saying about this brand I love.
Tell me about your experience with the night gummies.
I started using them. I think this is my third order. I heard Jordana on WCCO radio talking about it, and I thought, well, if she's doing it, trying to get off the Ambien, and I started with the pineapple gummies for sleep. That's what I take them for, is sleep. And I've been very pleased with the product. I started with the full gummy. Now I only take half, and that helps me sleep. So I'm very happy with the product, and I'm 70 years old. So.
And those sleep night gummies will help her sleep painlessly through the night. Those sleep night gummies are a real charm. Check out Mini Leaf's products at MINNELEAF.com. Check out that Triple Diamond Pain Cream, those sleep night gummies, or their other great products. I use them. There's so many CCOers that absolutely love them. You will too.
Mini Leaf means quality. Taste happy at minileaf.com.
The home of Minnesota's best legal products.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
We do have some light snow falling throughout the area, and winter-like weather could slow you down a little bit. Roadways still remain a bit slick. If you're headed out to the Winter SKOLStice, that ice festival out near Eagan, give yourself adequate time. 494 southbound, you have a crash near Baker Road and Eden Prairie. That's causing about a 14-minute delay in that northbound commute. 169 southbound, you have a vehicle spin out, and that is near 13 and Eagle Creek Avenue. That's causing about an 8-minute delay on that southbound commute. I'm Jim Hughes on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Washburn McCreevy Funeral Chapels and Cremation Services has been providing compassionate and personalized service for over 160 years. Honor your loved one and ensure your own wishes are met. Call 612-377-2203 or visit washburnmccreevy.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, CCO forecast brought to you by Washburn McCreevy Funeral and Cremation Services. It is chilly and a little bit of snow falling in Eagan. Let's get the latest from Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
The snow moves out tonight, but the wind will stay noticeable right through the weekend. We'll drop back to 6 tonight, only a high of 10 tomorrow with a mostly cloudy sky. Some light snow passes by on Sunday. Most pick up less than an inch. That'll be our one warmer day with a high up around 16. We chill into next week.
All right, live radar showing a little bit of snow just centered all over the metro area. So you heard Jim in the traffic report kind of giving you a sense as to how bad the roads are. It is windy, so the little bit of snow that's fallen is blowing all over the place. In Eagan right now, it is 12 degrees. Temperature really dropping here on CCO.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
You know you make me wanna kick my heels up and down.
All right, we are live in Eagan, having some fun on the first night of the Winter SKOLStice. We are in the warming house because it is cold. But it's going to be a great weekend. Open today for the next 10 days. Your chance to come out to the Vikings Lakes Ice Festival. Really cool. I just saw my friend Robbie from Minnesota Ice. They are the incredible ice sculptors that do so many of the cool ice sculptures around town. The 8,000 square foot ice maze, and just a great time out here. Robbie also provides the clear ice cubes that I insist on. If I'm getting a cocktail, Jess Myers is with us, the Minnesota Wild hockey reporter for the Pioneer Press. Jess, are you an ice aficionado? I want the clear ice. I've become a little bit of a snob on the bit.
The one time I went to Europe, Jason, you can't get ice cubes anywhere in Germany. I got on the plane to come home. They said, "Can we get you anything to drink?" And I said, "Yeah, give me just a big glass of ice." I hadn't had an ice cube in like 10 days. So, yeah, I'm an ice guy.
I like ice. I like it for sure. Although right now I think my toes are feeling the ice after sitting for 3 hours in this warming house here in Eagan. You know, the Minnesota Wild had such a nice road trip. And then they came home and just like absolutely dropped a clunker to Winnipeg last night. What is going on with the Wild? I would have thought that the home crowd was so excited to have this team back, and then the team has just dropped a couple of clunkers, really.
You know, it's cold and it's snowy and it's windy and there's, some unsettling news in the Twin Cities. You want some good news at this time of year, right? Well, if you're looking in the Minnesota sports scene for good news, you're looking in the wrong place. Because not only have they, did they not win a game in regulation in this 3-game homestand, after, you're right, they went 4-1-2 on their road trip, longest road trip in team history.
Outstanding. And we were mad. We're mad at the World Juniors for kicking the Wild out, but maybe we should be thanking the World Juniors because they played so well.
Maybe, and they're back on the road now. You think, okay, maybe that's some good news. Maybe they just need to get out of town, get back in a hotel room, spend some more time together, all of that. Well, then, Jason, this afternoon we get the news, as if it wasn't bad enough, that Zach Bogosian is out and Jonas Brodin is out, and we knew Joel Eriksson-Ek was out. Now, Matt Boldy, leading goal scorer on the team, 27 goals, he got hurt somehow last night. He played the whole game. He had an assist. Everything looked fine.
Seemed
and now
fine.
They say, oh, by the way, we're putting him on injured reserve. They just can't catch a break right now.
What? So explain that to me, because hockey is like everything is always cone of silence, super weird, like no explanation as to whatever injury anybody has. What, from watching that game, what do you think happened with Boldy? Or
We didn't.
Later that night, did he have like one of these in the apartment incidents?
No, I'm not going to speculate on that. But
Come on,
right,
let's have some fun. He
Okay,
threw
sure. Let's-
what could it be? He tripped on his way into bed.
He slipped on an ice patch outside his apartment. I don't know. Rolled his ankle. There. Let's just blindly speculate on what could have happened in that moment.
Is maybe like he had a sibling at the house who punched him in the nose, like some sort of family argument? I don't know. A lot of options.
So the way they do this in hockey is, you're right, they're very vague about everything. And they just say it's an upper body injury, it's a lower body injury. That's all they say. And it used to be that they were just intentionally deceptive about it. If they told you a guy had a right shoulder injury, that meant he had a left ankle injury. They would go like the total opposite part of the body.
Is the idea that they don't want to give the other team like an idea as to where to target the guy to try to exacerbate an injury when they come back?
Exactly. 20 years ago, if you knew a guy had a bum right shoulder, where's the first place you'd hit him the first time you saw him on the ice? You'd give him a whack in the shoulder. I mean, that's just the nature of hockey. It's a tough game.
True. Last night's game, obviously, the injury situation does make you say, like, all right, like maybe we don't need to worry. It's just like in any long season, you're going to have a couple of clunkers. But to have two of these in a row, at home they were 0-2-1. So they didn't win a single game in the three. That's, I don't want to say that's unacceptable, but it's pretty close to unacceptable, isn't it?
If you want to invite visiting fans to come to Minnesota and enjoy a game here, invite the fans from Winnipeg, because for some reason the Winnipeg Jets now have won 7 consecutive games in St. Paul. I mean, that's just crazy. And I was up in Winnipeg in November. The Wild shut them out up there, so the Wild play well in their building. They just can't beat Winnipeg in their own building, and I think it might be just kind of one of those mid-season funks that you go through. I don't think it's anything deeper. They need to get healthier, obviously, but I still think this is a really, really good hockey team.
Jess Myers with us from the Pioneer Press, talking Minnesota Wild hockey. Winnipeg, by the way, sort of an underrated city, don't you think?
Absolutely. I grew up in northern Minnesota. I went to Winnipeg probably more than I went to the Twin Cities.
Sure.
So it was kind of nostalgic for me going there, going to the museum and seeing some of the downtown, restaurants and stuff we used to go to as a kid. That was kind of cool.
Winnipeg is, I think, like Twin Cities people sometimes forget about, like, it's such a short flight, too. It's like a easy, if you want like a nice little weekend getaway. Although I'd like to see the Canadians come back here as well. Let's make a trade here. You guys come back here, we'll come see you.
Absolutely. You talk about outdoor events, Jason. I got to remind people, Hockey Day Minnesota, a week from tomorrow, is the actual Hockey Day Minnesota.
Okay.
But Hastings is doing it up big this year. It's like Hockey Week. They actually start tomorrow with high school games out there. They've got an unbelievable site. It's not far from the Mississippi River.
Oh, it's beautiful. That site is beautiful.
Yes, and they've got seating for like 5,000 there. They've got live music every day. I mean, it's a real full week-on festival of hockey in Minnesota. So I wrote about this week for the Pioneer Press. It used to be a one-day event. It was all on TV. It was really cool, and it has grown every year. The communities just love to kind of outdo one another with their events, with their music, with their hospitality, all of that. So Hastings is doing it up right.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was a little confused. I thought the big day was Saturday, but it's a week from Saturday, so the whole shebang sort of starts. I've driven by this site a number of times, the Hockey Day Minnesota rink. That they've sort of built this just for this, right?
They have a full-on outdoor arena with like Freon and all this stuff. They can keep ice up to 50 degrees outside. They've got permanent locker rooms. It's a really, really nice facility. But then they've added on, I want to say, about 3,000 temporary seats. So it's the size of a decent college hockey arena.
Nicer than what the Olympic hockey arena is likely to be like, the way things are going.
I think at this point we got to maybe just move the Olympics to Hastings. I think Olympic hockey would be perfect there. Bring it back to its roots. Play it outside.
Yeah.
Man, what a debacle is that?
When that,
they knew they were getting the Olympics like 6 years ago.
Yeah.
How are we?
Oh crap!
Like,
we better
waiting
build
till
an
the last
ice
minute?
rink. I had no idea. Yeah.
That reminds me of a famous story in Minnesota hockey lore. You remember the Met Center?
Yes.
And all the multicolored seats. It was kind of a unique look. Well, that happened by accident because literally, like the day of their first game, they were still installing seats, and they were in such a rush. They just put them in anywhere they could put them. Paid no attention to the color. They just put them everywhere.
It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. Well, I'm looking at your story right now, and the reason, like, I have passed this place in Hastings on my way to Treasure. Am I disclosing something that sounds troubling about me? I have passed the site on the way to Treasure Island.
You go there for the buffet. We know you, Jake.
I love the food. I'm not much of a gambler, but I do like the steakhouse down there. It's very good. But they've built this lighted kind of ice skating path too that kind of winds through the woods over there. It's pretty slick. You got to give Hastings their flowers. Like, this is nice work.
And I went out there maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. It was about 45 degrees.
Yes.
The ice skating path looked like just mush, but they assured me it's going to get cold. We're going to flood it. It's going to be in great shape. So, yeah. It's a fun place to go spend part of a day if you're so inclined.
30 games and scrimmages. Friday night, January 23rd. So that's next Friday. The Iowa Wild and the Milwaukee Admirals playing there, right?
Yes, and we're hoping by that time more players from the Iowa Wild will be there and not playing for the Minnesota Wild because they've had to call up so many guys due to injury. So you see how that works out? We're hopeful for a lot of things here.
Yeah, exactly right. Jess Myers with us from the Pioneer Press. This is sort of this window that we have in hockey before that Olympic hockey break. It's about 3 weeks, right? And you sort of need to just kind of, if you can be even at the end of this, I think you probably feel all right if you're the Wild, right?
It's interesting you mentioned the Olympic break because now it gets interesting for guys like Jonas Brodin, Joel Eriksson Ek, who are scheduled to play for Team Sweden, and then, of course, Matt Boldy, who's scheduled to play for Team USA. Now you've got injuries they're dealing with, and you wonder if they're just getting healthy when the Olympic break starts. If you're Bill Guerin, are you going to have a conversation and say, hey, I don't necessarily want you flying to Europe and playing 10 more games. I would rather have you sitting home, resting up for a potential playoff run for the Minnesota Wild. So that will lend itself to some interesting conversations here in the next couple weeks, I would imagine.
Super interesting. Great stuff. Jess Myers, we love having you on. This was fantastic. Thanks for spending part of your Friday night with us.
Jason, don't get lost in the ice maze. That's my only advice.
It's dark out here now. Like, we're all of a sudden
it's cold, it's windy, it's dark. Just have a map or keep your cell phone with you if you go in the ice maze.
I'll drop a pin on my map on my iPhone so somebody could come rescue me.
That is nothing but good thinking right there.
Thanks, Jess. Drive Time, ready to wrap up quite a week with a story of me actually saying no. I'll tell you what that's about in just a minute.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, this weekend, I have a great idea for you if you're looking to have a great time, looking to have some fun. What if you took your home and auto insurance information, coordinated all of it, and visited 16 different websites and submitted requests for quotes from 16 different companies? And then next week, you could wait for 16 annoying people to email you or call you back and harass you and try to get you to sign up for their... What? I'm sorry, you're saying you'd rather have a root canal. Yes, it's Jason with a better idea. One call, one website, one company, the Canopy Group, 16 different options. They have 16 different insurance companies they work with, so they will take your scenario and they'll do all that work for you. They will comparison shop your home, your auto insurance. They'll use your zip code, your family story, whatever it is. and they will get you the best coverage at the best price. For me, I just called the 800 number. This is before I was doing these ads for the Canopy Group. I just called 800-967-3389. 800-967-3389. I reached out and said, hey, it's Jason from Maple Grove. What do you got? They ran my situation through 16 different companies, came back with one of them that improved my coverage and cut my cost by $820 a year on home and auto insurance. Pretty great. No obligation, too. What are you waiting for? Let's go. 800-967-3389. Or go to the website, get a quote online, thecanopygroup.com.
News Talk 830 is the perfect blend of news and conversation.
It's where I get my news fix. It's like a newsroom in my car.
I enjoy the lively debates on CCO.
Breaking news. It's informative, engaging, and always on point.
Really get to the heart of the issues.
Vanita, Adam, and Jordana, Chad, Jason, and Henry.
Traffic, weather, Twins, baseball. CCO has it all.
When I need to know.
When I need to know.
When I need to know.
When I need to know. When I need to know.
It's News Talk 830.
WCCO.
Why are you wearing a cowled robe?
Druids celebrated this time of year with month-long festivals, so Barufka's Happy January event runs through January 31st.
No goat sacrificing?
How about free metro delivery, free removal of your old furniture, and no down payment, no interest financing for up to 24 months? Now, I'd like to finish the Barufka hinge.
Oh, Jim. Barufka's. No gimmicks, haggling, or hard-to-understand pricing.
In Minnetonka, Woodbury, and Burnsville. Decidedly.
You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
What's up, world? It's Von Miller, Super Bowl MVP, chicken farmer, and now host of Free Range. This is a show where I go off the field and off the script. We're talking what's hot in music, film, trending news, and everything blowing up your feed. If you love football, you'll feel at home. But if you're here for the vibes, the internet deep dives, the conversation, this is your podcast. Join me every Wednesday. Follow and listen to Free Range with me, Von Miller, everywhere you get your podcast.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
As you get ready to make that drive on the way home and most of the weekend, watch for the winter-like weather to move into our area. Colder temperatures. If you are headed out to the Winter SKOLStice at Ice Festival in Eagan, give yourself some adequate time. Causing a little more problems on 169 southbound. That vehicle spin out near 13 and Eagle Creek Avenue. That is causing about a 12-minute delay in your commute. 494 on the northbound side. This is near Baker Road and Eden Prairie. We have another crash in front of you there. That's causing about a 15-minute delay. I'm Jim Hughes on News Talk 830 WCCO.
With a well-designed will, trust, and estate plan, you can have peace of mind. Choose Matt Gutman of Gutman Law to give yourself peace of mind. Call him now, 612-895-1616 at gutmanlaw.com. Gutman Law, peace of mind today for tomorrow.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Gutman Law, wills, trust, and probate law at gutmanlaw.com, bringing us Chris Schaefer's forecast for tonight. Light snow continues. Not a ton, but it is a nuisance with the wind and the cold. The low will be 6, but it'll feel like sub-zero because winds at 10 to 15. Tomorrow, we only get to 10. It'll feel like below 0 all day, that same wind. A little pesky, and Sunday is the chance for light snow. Yeah, only up to 16. Welcome to winter. You've been wondering, like, here it comes. Average high is 23. Right now, it's more like 12 on CCO.
Jason DeRusha.
Well, let me ask you about this guy. Does he have any credibility?
No.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
So I have spent a little bit of time this week doing international media appearances.
You're kind of a big deal.
It's been sort of interesting, right? Like, what happens is when you do one of these and it goes okay, then more and more people start calling you up. So yesterday, weirdly, like I was on CNN 3 times.
That sounds right.
And then yesterday, right after the show, I was on the CBC in Canada.
The Canucks hit you up.
The Canucks hit me up, and I said, well,
look at what's been happening.
Like, sure, I love Canada.
Who doesn't love Canada?
I'll be on the Canada news. And so I was on Canadian news, doing the thing. And that went all right.
Again, you're a big deal.
I did this one at the radio station with the fancy radio station microphone.
Sure.
Which that makes it seem big time. So I do this last night, and Alyssa says, is this what we're doing this weekend? Like, is this, like, all weekend? People are going to be calling, like, hey, can you be on, Cooking with Larry on CNN International at 10:15?
I mean, you can't help being in demand.
That's what I'm saying. When people want trusted, insightful commentary, they come to WCCO Radio and Drive Time with DeRUSH.
And then when Chad can't do it, they ask for you.
So I got an email when I woke up this morning. Dear Jason, hope this email finds you well.
That's usually a red flag, but okay.
My name is Julia. I'm a producer with CNN International. Might you... Oh, it wasn't that one. That was
a different one.
There's so many.
There's just so many emails.
So many emails. I got a request to be on CNN at 3 o'clock this morning.
Oh.
3 o'clock this morning.
That's a no.
Yeah.
I mean, they could pre-tape it. We do that now and then, right? I mean, why not?
3 a.m. And I did think about it, Dan.
I bet you did.
I did think about it. And Alyssa said...
Put the kibosh on that
No,
one.
she thought I was going to do it.
Oh!
Might you be willing and available for Saturday in the 3 a.m. hour?
Oof.
This will be a live 1-to-1 with CNN's Kim Brunberger.
How about a taped 1-to-1 about 6 hours earlier?
I told the Brunberger... No, thank you. So I said no to a media appearance,
you.
everybody. You're welcome. Thanks for watching and listening. See you guys.
Stop dreaming and start driving. Lexus of Wayzata.